Well, welcome everybody, and we'll get straight to look who joined us, Crypto
Hey,
Casey.
All
Yeah,
right.
we
The
are.
Casey in the
two
house.
2 weeks in a row tells you something. She might have something up her sleeve about where she is going to impart knowledge on where our market is going after it's being manipulated. I don't think the manipulation is going to stop, but nevertheless, we've got the big brains and of Crypto Casey. We love her. We have the privilege of being able to help share the message with her audience of what we bring to the table. My name is Edward Pereira. My co-host and partner, Attila Hevesy. Our esteemed guest, as always, Mr. Ed Barsano, and our super smart Crypto Casey has joined us. Um, we're all about learning. You know, Crypto Casey, you followed her since she started her first videos in 2017. And every time she's learned something, she's put it on tape so you can learn and benefit from it too. So,
Yep.
welcome everybody. Casey, thank you. Attila, Mr. Barsano, thank you for joining us. We've got some upgrades. So hang on. I'm going to set some expectations. As I always say, put your 6 point racing harness on, auto racing harness, because you're going to see some things today. If you've seen them before, great. But you know how amazing it is. If you're brand new to us, then hold on, because there's going to be some things that if your mama told you it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true, except for what you're going to hear today. Everything we lead with in this educational masterclass is fact. You're going to have one of the top industry experts, Crypto Casey, share as if you've been under a rock and haven't seen any of her videos about the performance of this. I think she started testing it in early 2024, and then we'll let we'll let her share her opinion if she likes it or not, and hopefully you glean some extra information and knowledge. So with that, I'm going to share a screen and set the expectations. Super simple, not take a whole lot of time. Let me increase the size of that.
By
So
the way, while Edward's bringing that up, just to be clear, if you're here for the first time, Edward and myself are the educational and support system for Crypto Casey as it pertains to the trader. So, again, if you're new to us, you didn't know that. So I like to explain it because sometimes you're like, who are these guys? You
yeah, who
know,
are
but
I mean, you got two famous. You got Crypto Casey and Mr. Ed Barsano. I don't know who the other two clowns are, but we're here to give you all the support possible so that you can
every
prosper.
Wednesday.
Right, every Wednesday, 2 o'clock Eastern.
Yep.
Tune in as many times as you'd like. We'll be sharing some information and links that you can follow along. You can get the replay of today. And you can join our free community, which is full of like-minded, big brain people like yourself. And we appreciate you. So, without further ado, what can you expect today? Transformation. I mean, that's as easy as I can put it, because we're going to illuminate things that you've not seen before. And think about it, if I said to you, if I told you you could hire an entire company of professional traders that never sell at a loss, that have an incredible track performance and track record of simply making you money while you're sleeping, or any time of day while you're spending time with your family or on vacation, for 13.2 cents per hour,
Hmm.
what would you think? So with that, you're going to see a deep dive of the one and only that exists on the planet, GoBabyTrade platform, which is autonomous crypto trading, by the way, stock trading as well. Two different licenses, but whatever flavor that of money you like to make in your sleep, or both, is fine. It's the only autonomous trader, fully integrated trader and money management system that links directly to your Coinbase or Kraken account. Remember that, because when I turn it over to Mr. Hevesy, he's going to explain what are the more what haven't you seen in the market today, which is the punchline is controlling your own money. This allows you to do that. You're going to see a system that operates 24/7, 365. Please do ask hard questions. The chat's going to stay open. You already know that for some of you that are on here are rabid fans and trader owners. If you say it's too good to be true, don't listen to us. Listen to Crypto Casey. Listen to the audience, and they'll explain to you why this is real and it works. You're going to see a live demonstration of the platform, not only in a simulation account that I created, but a real live account that Mr. Barsano has had running for minimum the last 2 years. The product was launched in April of 2021, and it went live, real live trading with real live money in December of 2019. So it's coming up on its 4 year anniversary. You're going to understand
2021.
2000, what did I say? 2000,
You said 19.
2019. Oh, well, that's when you started programming. Sorry, released December 19th is when I think you went live with your first account.
21, yep.
2021, right? So you'll walk away and you'll understand why this is the only truly set it and forget it. I mean, you set it and you don't have to do anything. Most people don't forget it because they're interested in the fact that they can wake up and in all likelihood, it will have taken profits for you and is literally considered what we call a life trader. You're going to see the $1 billion report. I call it the $1 billion report that illuminates and identifies optimal trading opportunities. This platform eats volatility. So if you've been watching the market, again, if you crawled out from under the rock, you got to see that it's just prices going up and down, but they've been going and moving violently to our benefit. So with that, I'll take you to the next slide. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, we're getting away here. Hang on.
Oops.
Yep.
You had it for a second there.
I know it flashed up. So my screen has locked up. Hopefully you can see me. All right,
Yes.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Try it again. Yep.
Yep. We'll do that again.
It was a disclaimer. I already read it all anyway.
Well, for the audience, we need to illuminate that. All right. Hopefully you can.
We could do a verbal. We could do a verbal. We are.
Yeah. Well, we got it.
Yeah.
It's there. It's there. Oh my gosh. Okay. There we go. Sorry for the burning back of your retina. We're here for solely for information and educational purposes only. We're not giving you financial advice of any kind whatsoever. We are not licensed financial, legal, tax, or other advisors. We're good friends, making good friends, sharing good information that hopefully you can benefit from it. By engaging in anything that we're talking about, you acknowledge that you agree that you're solely responsible for your financial decisions and outcomes. So sorry I had the difficulty in that. We upgraded it to meet our legal requirement. But with that, we'll dispense with the legal beagle and we'll get on to teaching you things that are going to be of benefit. So with that, again, I'm your host, Edward Pereira, my co-host and support system for Crypto Casey's audience, Attila Hevesy, our esteemed guests, Crypto Casey and Ed Barsano. And with that, Mr. Hevesy, take it away.
All right. Thanks, Edward. I'm going to try to do something a little different here today. I'm going to keep my section a little bit shorter than usual because of our guest has about an hour before she has to do a few important chores and then hopefully join us back for the Q&A. So Casey, let me do this. Let me ask you a question that you could address as we are ending and winding down November with what's happened here this month with a serious 20 to 30% pullback. What do you see? How do you see the year ending in the crypto market based on all of your research and all of your videos and all of your knowledge?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us before a holiday, US holiday. I think that we are going to see like a manufactured relief rally where some big institutional players, maybe some ETFs, and will pump up the price between 100 or 90 and 100, and then maybe sell off some. But all these pullbacks, even right now, a lot of people or whales are kind of buying up all of this liquidation. So I think we're going to see a lot of volatility, but at the end of the day, I don't know where it's going to end at the end of this year. I think it might end under 100, but I think we'll have a really good Q1.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for your outlook and your thoughts. So a lot of my sources are saying Bitcoin's going to recover here until the end of January, and at the end of January, they're saying there will be another major pullback. But we'll see. You never know. It's just one of those things that's hard to predict. But thank you for that.
So, Casey, how do you
Yeah.
feel about the market being manipulated? It's not a matter of if it's being manipulated, but that was a trick question. It was more of a giggle than a real question.
Yeah.
But
How do I feel about it? What's funny was when I was getting my finance degree, I was like, this is one big scam. It's been manipulated the whole time. Like, I mean, it's just the realization. Whenever you come to it, it's just kind of
One
You
of our
gotta,
sad. But hey, if the game's rigged, learn the game and then do what you can to
one of
hedge.
our favorite videos of yours that Edward and I love is the one where you're like financial system scam, IRS scam.
cat,
You know?
scan, married, scam, not being married, scam. That's
Yeah. Pick
I
your scam.
That was a classic. Yeah.
if you folks, if you haven't seen that and you want a good giggle every single day, but true,
What's the name of that
true.
video? What's the name of that
I don't
episode?
remember. I think it was
Man,
maybe just a news one. I don't think it was evergreen. I don't
that
know.
was
I
that
could
was
probably
Yeah,
find it. I'll
it
just
might
type
have
in
been
anyway.
a
scam into my thing, see how many times I said it.
yeah.
So let me
I'll find it. I'll
okay.
find it. Sure.
Let's move on. So my experience, I'm here today to explain how I met Mr. Barsano, and as a result, everybody is here with us today, which is very cool. So Mr. Barsano, when he finished up in the Navy, got himself a nuclear engineering job, and from that, he ended up at Microsoft as one of the first 350 people hired as a programmer there. And he doesn't like it when I say this, but he was a rock star there for 9 solid years, retired a young man under the age of 40, got into trading stocks. The tech stocks were going vertical back then. And boy, oh boy, he got his clock cleaned in the year 2000. Fortunately for all of us. And that is because he said he felt like he got robbed, and he went on a mission, and that mission was to level the playing field so that people didn't have to gamble and had a fair shot at making money in the stock market. So he developed and launched in 2000, 2001, the world's first fully robotic autonomous stock market trader for the average consumer, not for the big boys on Wall Street, not for the uber wealthy, for the average person. And folks, I mean, if you saw how this thing worked back in 2000, it's amazing today. But back then, I mean, listen to this. Once you got finished spending 60 to 90 minutes downloading the software, it turned itself on at 9:30 in the morning with the stock market, Monday morning when the market opened, traded for you all day long, taking profits, buying more stock allocations at a lower price when it went down, and it shut off at 4 p.m. when the stock market closed, and it did this 100% unattended. You didn't have to be in front of the screen. You didn't have to do anything. So it was really remarkable. And I was introduced to Ed Barsano by a mutual friend back in 2012. My friend said to me, Attila, how'd you like to trade the stock market and not do anything? I'm like, how is that possible? He said, let me get you on the phone with this gentleman. We spoke 15, 20 minutes into the conversation. I said, time out. I'm sold. You don't have to say anything more. I bought the trader and this thing rocked. I mean, I'm not a technical person, so I was a little intimidated with the 60 to 90 minute setup. But if so, just so happened, I also had a chance to help Mr. Barsano market it back then somewhat. So I got used to it. I learned it. It wasn't that bad. But at first, it was cumbersome. So anyway, the long and short of it was this thing really worked. And he went on to do some incredible numbers with the marketing company back in 2012, 13, and 14, $16 million plus of trading licenses sold, which is a tremendous number. 2018, he ended up selling out to a hedge fund that had previously purchased many, many licenses from him. Now, this is where the story takes a twist. In 2024, March of 24, I'm sitting at my desk. I have a very nice crypto portfolio, but I'm a cash flow guy. I love cash flow. And unfortunately, I had lost quite a bit of money in 5 different DeFi crypto cash flow projects. So I'm sitting there going, you know what? I got to find myself a really safe and secure way to just have my crypto make more crypto on itself, because I follow the Warren Buffett theory. Warren Buffett said many, many moons ago, if you're not making money while you sleep, you're going to work till you die. And I wholeheartedly agreed with that. So I love cash flow. Cash flow is king. My parents always said cash is king. Boom, that's out the window. It's cash flow. So it took me a full day, but it hit me right between the eyes. 24 hours later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about Ed Barsano. I'll bet my life on the fact that somewhere along the line, Ed has developed a trader for crypto. And I tracked him down. I still had his phone number in my iPhone. And thankfully I did. And guess what? We finally connected by phone. We had a 3-hour conversation, and he confirmed my hunch. He said, Attila, I did just what you thought I did. And I launched it in April of 2021, and this thing blows away the stock trader. It's light years ahead of that. And I said, how come? So he gave me 4 compelling reasons, and this is kind of where the rubber meets the road. So listen carefully. Number one, he said the stock market trades 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Crypto's 24/7, 365. That's a big advantage. And I agreed. Second thing he said was, gosh, what was the second thing?
It's not downloadable software.
Yeah, no, that's the third thing, but it'll come to me. But number three and number
Volatility.
4. Yeah, the volatility. He said, Attila, this is another thing I immediately agreed with him, and he said with him on. He said, you need volatility no matter what you're trading if you want to make big money in trading. And I said, absolutely correct. He says, there's no asset class with more volatility than crypto. And that's so true. And this is going to stay true for the next 15, 20 years, folks, by the way. So I said, that's a big advantage. What's number 3? He said, it's not downloadable software anymore. It is web-based. And I really didn't know exactly what that meant. So I asked for clarity. And he said, look, if you buy the license again, this time for the crypto trader, I could have you connected to your own Coinbase account in less than 10 minutes. I said, that's hard to believe because I remember 2012, it was nothing like that. So guess what? I said, let's do it. I bought the license on the spot and I went live, and Ed had me connected to my Coinbase account in somewhere between 8 and 9 minutes. And that, folks, if you knew what it was like in 2012, that was a major difference. And that was an eye-opener for me. But really, the most important thing to me, and should be to all of you on this Zoom, was number 4. He said, I created an API that connects to your Kraken and your Coinbase account, or not and, but or, so that you and only you control your funds. Now, why is this the most important thing? Because everybody knows this is a new nascent space. And there have been many, many scams in this arena. And you want to safeguard and make sure you're 1,000% sure that you and only you control your money. So when I heard number 4, I was like, Ed, we got to bring this to the world. Ed is admittedly not a sales or marketing guy. He's a programming genius. So I said, let us help you do that. And consequently, one thing led to another, and that's, just 7, 8 months after that is when we ran into Crypto Casey, quite by accident. So before I hand it back to Edward for 1 minute, I wanted to make sure that everybody kept 2 things at the forefront of your minds. Number 1, we're going to say set it and forget it. This is a set it and forget it system, 100% unattended. What does that mean? That means other than the initial 10-minute setup to go live to your exchange, there's really no need for you to ever interact with this. In other words, you don't have to, there's no screen time required. You don't need to be in front of it ever, unless you want to go in and see what your trader did for you that day. It literally is totally robotic and autonomous. Number 2, keep at the forefront of your mind always what this man has brought forth to the world. What he has done is he's leveled the playing field. And he's made it so that you don't, without being an accredited investor, without knowing anything about trading of any kind, without even knowing anything about cryptocurrency, you hardly have to know anything about computers. You could now make money in your sleep, 24/7. And that's an amazing thing because no one's done that. Nobody has done what Mr. Barsano has done with a 25-year track record, with verifiable results, without ever selling for a loss, without any screen time needed. All those components go into a magical formula, obviously, but it's never been done for the average Tom, Dick, and Harry, Sally, Susie. That's incredible. So, Edward, do me a big favor. Before we introduce Ed Barsano, bring up and briefly explain what you did a little over 8 months ago with your paper trading account, because the results are mind-boggling.
Here you go. So
Okay. It's coming up.
it's coming up. Can you see? Oh, hello. This is getting to happen on a regular basis.
Well, looky here. What do we have here?
So while we're explaining, this is happening. So not much, but can you imagine if it takes, well, it took $23, right? And what's a previous example I've given is if this only made $20 a day, depending on how much, and I don't have a lot of money that's being utilized in this account yet, but if it only made $20 a day over a 3-year period, over a 1-year period, it's $7,300. Over a 3-year period, it is $21,900. So I don't know how you can put your money to work in a less expensive way. I made the haha funny comment. Paul commented on it that hiring the smartest traders on the planet for 13.2 cents an hour that never sleep. You don't have to pay their salary. You don't have to feed them. They don't have to live in your basement. It's just automatic. So I talked to in the expectation slide, I talked about the $1 billion report. We'll get to that. But there was a report that was issued by Ed and his team about now almost 11 months ago. It wasn't there for the first 2 years and a couple of months since the trader's been active. But point being is that Ed and his team constantly improve. It seems like almost every week when we come on, there's something new. And I'll keep the surprises to Mr. Barsano, but you have a living, breathing, almost, I don't know how to describe it. The way Ed approaches the marketplace and GoBabyTrade, his baby, is to constantly improve it for the benefit of others. Some of you will ask, and have asked in the past, if you've created the winning lottery ticket that hits in every drawing, why would you tell anybody about it? Well, I'll pose that question and I'll let Mr. Barsano, when we turn the mic over to him, explain it. But it's not only altruistic, but it is self-serving, right? Why would you not want to share this with others? This is based on abundance, not scarcity. And there are very few people in the grand scheme of things, as Attila and I were honored and granted the ability to start marketing this tool to others. There are very few people that know about it. So if you're here, you're one of the few.
Yep.
But just wait, there's going to be more. So I started this, was it close to 8 months ago? So Christmas will be 8 months. In 8 months.
No, Christmas will be 9 months.
9 months. Okay. In 9 months, starting with $100,000. Yes, there's lots and lots of inventory. We'll explain what these numbers are, but essentially they are numbers of individual lots in those particular coins. Bonk, Ondo, Pepe, and Whiff on this $1 billion report, which we'll show you, were some of the most active. They were in the top 10 when I actually started the simulation back in March. In the last 30 days, it's taken almost $1,000 in profit, but this is an amazing number. In a 90%, probably 50+% down market since I started the simulation 9 months ago, the market has been down 50+%, 30% in the last couple of months. Yet it's made $46,000 plus in profit in that period of time without touching it, without doing anything. So when I refer to it as a life trader, it literally is a life trader. If it's going to run at close to or above 100% return, by the way, not just return, but creating cash flow, right? If you're in the crypto market and have been holding cryptos for a long time, if you're a hodler, right? That's great to watch the prices go up and down. But what if you could hold them and trade them at the same time and benefit from the profits as they wiggle, and eventually, when they go sky high, as I have sentiments about XRP and some of the others, is that you will win, win, and keep winning because it doesn't matter where the market is, where the price is, the price will always fluctuate, right? At the beginning, Casey talked about a sort of a false manipulation and pushing the prices up. Guess what? You've seen them go up and down, up and down, up and down. This is the only platform in the universe that allows you to take advantage of it. Now, allows you, it doesn't require any work on your part. You just let it go. It doesn't miss a beat. At 2 o'clock in the morning, well, no, let's see if I can go down here. Here you go. Taking profits at 1 o'clock a.m., 4 a.m. I'm sleeping and it's making money. It's not just my account. Casey has, Attila has, obviously Ed Barsano, and a lot of you that have joined us have benefited from this. So with that, let me turn it back over to you, Attila.
Great.
May I say one thing before you leave that screen?
Yes, sir. Noticed, oops, before I left the screen. You got to talk faster. I saw that you raised your
Hey,
hand.
that raised hand there is supposed to mean something.
Well, I'm trying to tell people how to build a watch. So, Mr. Barsano, go right ahead.
All right. I just want to make a point of what you said. In the last few months, this market has dropped 50%, but yet your account value is not at 50,000. It's at 81,000.
Right.
That's the difference of even if your account is down some while the market's crashing, that's expected. Don't expect an auto trader to be able to make the market go up. But when the market crashes like that, millions of buy and holders, which is most people who just buy coins and sit on them, they're getting hammered. They're losing half. I mean, their accounts are cut in half. Your account's not cut in half. It's actually up 30,000 from where it should be.
Right. Because of the profits it's taken off the table.
Now, what's funny is I think might be interesting because it's on my birthday that you started it.
Well, no wonder.
Maybe it's a fluke.
No wonder it's so successful.
There we go. That's cool.
All right, now we got this. Now we know her birthday.
Everybody,
March 25th.
Yep.
2010.
2010. Yeah. All right. So, Ed Barsano, let me just say that Casey's got about 30 minutes before she's got to scoot for about 60 to 90 minutes. She'll be back hopefully for part of the Q&A. So I'll turn it over to you, Ed, but also to Crypto Casey in case you want to have a dialogue with each other. Either Ed, you want to ask Casey something, or Casey, you want to ask Ed something.
Round one. Have at
Keep
it.
it private. Thank you.
No, what's funny is all the questions I had for you before, I started using it, you now answer in all of these. So, and some of them aren't even relevant anymore. Like some of them were, why isn't it open source?
Right.
Which
Oh yeah,
you have a really good answer. And
Another irrelevant question. Does it work?
yes. Well, I tested it before I even talked to him. So
I
saw that it worked, and then I wanted to know how it worked.
Would you do us a favor and give us just the short summary of when you met us and you walked away and said scam, 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 and then it changed?
Yeah, so one of my friends randomly was at, I'm not sure what it was, a conference, some kind of meetup, and then meets Edward. And then Edward was like, hey, I'm in blockchain. And he's like, oh, you should meet my friend Casey. She does videos about crypto and finance. So my friend's like, hey, you should meet up with Edward. Like, he has some interesting thing. I'm like, all right. So I meet Edward and Attila. And they're like, look, this might sound like really crazy, but XYZ explaining all this. And I'm sitting there like, oh God. What is the next scam? This is cool. But anyways, so behind their back, I bought the trader at full price for 4,500. And then I used it for a couple months and didn't tell them. And I was very impressed. And then I reached back out to them like, hey, you know what? This is interesting. I'd like to learn more about it. And then at that point, they linked me up with Ed, the creator. And then I grilled him for a couple hours with some questions I had. And then it took about 9 months before I made a video exposing it to my audience because it's everything I say. There's no such thing as set it, forget it. Everything that I say, it was the opposite, and I knew I was going to get hammered for it. But whenever you look at all the technology and how exponentially it's increasing and getting more sophisticated, we're landing rockets on platforms in the ocean where, I mean, there's so many incredible things happening. It's a little bit naive to think that we can't apply some AI to price action and get a little bit from it. But I mean, it's actually not even the best use case for artificial intelligence, but hey, it helps us.
Absolutely. Well
Yes, it
said.
does. Thanks, Casey. I love I love the story. I love it better when you tell it because when you called us back up, we're like, Attila, she called and wants to talk about the trader. We haven't heard from her in months. So, yeah, listen, again, I'd like to offer collectively our thanks for you doing your due diligence. It could have if it wasn't factually real and it didn't operate the way that we shared and you confirmed, then you would have never released it to your audience. You would have laughed us out of the room,
No,
right?
I just
But
would have never contacted you. I don't like to laugh at people, but I will ghost
well,
you.
behind our backs, that's fine. But we're so grateful that you saw value in it and still see value enough to share it with your audience. And this is brilliant. There's not I mean, I can't name a whole lot of other environments where a lot of smart people get to share quality information without there's no hard sell here. You know, if you come out the back end and you decide to deploy this as part of your financial future, awesome. If not, if you choose not to, or you don't believe it, whatever the case may be, here's what you leave with. You leave with more information than you came in with.
Well, I have a distinct advantage because of my meeting Ed back in 2012. I remember how that trader worked. I remember the frenzy around that stock trader and how that thing was flying off the shelves because people were able to automate a part of their stock trading life, and they were like thrilled to death. And when I revisited and saw how far the trader had come, and actually he started from ground zero and rebuilt the whole thing with a lot of the data that he optimized from the stock trader. You put it into the new trader, right, Ed?
Right.
Well, you never forget knowledge, you know. You can
Yeah.
never, there's no such thing as starting from ground zero because you have too much knowledge that you learned
Right.
over the years.
Hmm.
So, you know, I could jump right in. I knew where I was going with the original trader. I had to learn along the way.
Right.
And, you know, sort of slowly, you know, learning what works and what doesn't work. But by the time I got to creating the crypto trader in 2020, you know, I already had all the knowledge in my head. I knew right where I was going. And I could
Right.
eliminate all the stuff that right away wasn't that I know didn't work. It was much easier to create this version of the trader than the first one. The first one took years to unlearn all the misinformation out there because I had to learn it and see what and everybody's saying this other stuff works. So you automate that stuff and you discover it doesn't work. You say, "Wow, well, all you do is lose your money if you do that." So I didn't put any of that kind of stuff in here. You'll notice there's only one screen of settings in this trader. The original trader had 10 screens of settings. You know, 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up. But to jump right in here, thank you, Crypto Casey, for inviting me. You guys, I love Wednesdays. I think in the beginning, Edward, you said you could be in better places, but you chose to be here.
Yep.
This is where
Yep.
I choose to be. Are you kidding?
Yeah, same here. We can't get enough of teaching
I can't
people.
get enough. I can't
Right.
wait for Wednesdays. I thought yesterday was Wednesday half the day, and I'm like, man, I hate it, there's no presentation today.
Well,
But for starters,
we're as enthusiastic about having you here. Look, the two of the greatest minds on the planet, creating the
true, I'll give you that.
well, no, I was talking about Attila and I, but you fell for that joke. You and Crypto Casey, you taking 25 years and 50 years of your programming knowledge and creating something that can be consumed by the general public that literally has 25 years of proven success. And then Crypto Casey and her logic in starting her channel is that if it was good for her learning things, then altruistically she wanted everybody else to learn. And to her credit, and I believe our credit too, is that you'll notice if you follow Crypto Casey, and we love her as much as you do, she doesn't promote a lot of things. The only thing that I've seen her
Tandem
share.
wallet. I see Tandem wallet a lot.
Right. Well, the only things that she shares is things that she found of value to her and wanted to impart that same value, knowledge, and exposure to her audience. So with
And I
that,
think a lot
sorry.
of people don't understand that, these companies aren't paying for billboards or commercials on TV. The only way that they can get out is through, YouTube in a very cost-effective way, in an altruistic, trustworthy way too.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of testing of things. I've tested out a lot of things that I've never spoken about at all because there is a lot of bad stuff out there. But
Yep.
that's part of my job is to be a filter.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
appreciate. We all appreciate you, Crypto
yeah, there's a
Casey.
whole lot of overpromising and a whole lot of underdelivering. You won't find that here, Crypto Casey with Mr. Ed Barsano and our financial intelligence platform. It makes so much sense for you to be smarter based on the years, collectively, years of us learning and finding out what doesn't work.
All right, Ed
Yeah, don't
Barsano, the
add up
floor
the
is
years
yours.
collectively, all right?
Yeah.
10,000 years. Why share? You mentioned that in your monologue, I guess. Why shares? Why do we share it? It doesn't hurt for us to share. And I learn a lot from sharing it. It also keeps me motivated. Plus, I've got I run these auto traders. I've got 4 auto traders, to be honest, that I run on my own, live auto traders. And I know Crypto Casey has a few. But, it just cranks out money. It's kind of like when you first started, Edward, when you first brought up your screen and it had that sale, that profit on there on the screen.
Yep.
Well, I turn on my power. Um, it, it was so, what's the word for it? It was just so routine.
It is routine, and if you
That,
notice the past few weeks, every time, and I don't bring up my trader until we're getting ready to broadcast the show, and it seems like the last 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, every time I bring it up, there's a profit, and
yeah,
you can
and
see it in the bottom of the screen.
it's just every day, in
Yep.
life, every day. I mean, we watch these auto traders taking profits just about every single day. It's just like, all right, it took more money. Whatever.
What do I
It
always
could
say?
build after a while.
What do I always say? You've made making money boring.
Boring. I
So,
know. So for starters, Attila, you call me a genius, and I'm not a genius. I just drink smart water. And I got two. This is going to be a 2 water event.
I called you a rock star.
Oh, that too. All right. Oh, I'll take that one.
Yeah.
You meant rock, and then you just threw in star on there. Oh. When you started out, Crypto Casey said it, the market's a scam. And, it's what makes it a scam. That's the thing. They're taking advantage of the public because the public just doesn't know. It's kind of like when the light goes on in your car, that check engine light comes on. They got you. Because I don't know what that's going to cost me now. When that check engine light goes on in that car, in my Range Rover, I'm like, oh man, they could say anything, man. They could tell me I need a whole new engine if they want, because I don't know. So, how much are they going to hit me for? Is it going to be 300 or is it going to be 3,000, And they could take advantage of you. Now, some people would take advantage of you. I found a Range Rover dealer, or a um,
Service center.
service center, yeah. Um, Rovin Tech. If you're in Arizona, Rovin Tech is what it's called. They are great. And if you're worried about prices, man, they're like half what the dealer charges if you go in there to get anything done. They're really fantastic. So, I'm just saying that people take advantage of you if you don't know stuff. Um, like if somebody You know, one time when I was in high school, I was working at a gas station and somebody came in, and a woman came in and her car sounded like a train. I mean, that engine, and I'm like, stop, you need oil, lady. But she was like resistant. She's like, no, no, my husband takes care of that. Look, let me at least throw a couple quarts of oil in here. I'll give it to you for free. I don't even care. But you can't, I can't let you just drive out of here like this. This is crazy, man. You have no oil in your engine. You know? So, people are just so paranoid, they've been ripped off so bad that that's what happens. And that's what's happening in the market, in the crypto space, and in the stock market. It's bad because it's lasted so long. The classes they're teaching are all wrong, and the things they're teaching in the classes are wrong. And the people teaching the classes aren't even in the stock market or in the crypto market, and they're just teaching the class acting like they know stuff. And they're completely wrong. And I can say this because I've been automating the crypto market for 25 years. So I know what works and what doesn't work because I've had thousands of users showing me what doesn't work because they were doing it, and we could see what doesn't work. I automated whatever they wanted, and I discovered that most of the stuff everyone was doing doesn't work. And what does work is the money management, proper money management, and trapping the market at the bottom. You want to go low? I'll go low with you. I don't care where the price goes. I'm always buying and selling, buying and selling. And we discovered the secret to the market. It turns out it's exactly like how you would run a 7-Eleven. The secret is put product on the shelf and sell it at a higher price. And really, it's way more involved than that in the code, on the code side. But when you look at it, it's from the outside, it's really the exact same thing. You put product on the shelf and you sell it at a higher price than what you paid for it. It's not rocket science. And you have to have product on the shelf. If you have no product on the shelf and customers walk in, you have nothing to sell. So you always have to keep the shelves full. And that's what the auto trader does. It keeps you in inventory. And so that's the way it works. So there are scams though in the market. That's the thing. There are a lot of scams. The level 2 screen, I'll share my screen real fast if you don't mind.
Yep.
Go ahead.
All yours.
The level 2 screen over here, I put L2. You guys don't see this on your screen because there's just too much data to send out to this web page, to everybody's auto trader. But this right here, there's a lot of fake orders around the best bid and ask price where sometimes, and you'll see it on the screen, sometimes someone will see a price, like did you see 117 shares just go by up here? And you might be buying 10,000 shares or 100,000 shares, and which means if you're buying it, you're going to pay a price. When I add up all this volume down here, you're going to end up paying the price up here, not the best ask price. The best ask price is a lot of time is fake. It's when I say fake, it's a real order, but if somebody throws an order out there and says I'm willing to sell my shares, my 100 shares at this price, that makes that the best price, even though you're going to buy 10,000 shares, you're not going to buy 100 shares. So that price is going to disappear in a second because one of the 10,000 other people trading are just going to grab that right away. And then you're going to end up paying a much higher price. So there's 131 shares I just saw down there at the bottom. So, there's a lot of fake numbers in here, and those are fake, put out by professionals to mess with the market. That's actually illegal to do stuff like that. But who's gonna catch them? Who's gonna do anything about it? So that's the problem there. So when it comes to scams, there are real scams, and then there are just scams you would call scams because they're taking advantage of the public. They're not really committing a crime, but it's a scam. Okay. How did we get robbed I took some notes while you guys were talking because I know I come in here empty. I don't know what I'm going to say until I see where we're going. How did we get robbed in a 2000 market crash? Well, it was real super simple. They pushed the prices all the way down. Once the prices start going down, millions of people were margining. Remember, we came out of the 90s, right? Everybody thought that the market was just going to keep going straight up, the tech stocks. So what did we do? We were all margining. We were all doing 2-to-1 margin. I think I was sitting on $40 million worth of stock, and I only had 22 million in my
Wow.
account, of equity,
Wow.
but I was trading 40 million, because I was margining. And when the market started going down, it didn't take long before you got that margin call. And then then I was forced to sell a lot of stock. And when you started selling all that stock, you started really driving the market down, right? And that's what pushed it down. Everybody getting margin calls. Um, and they did the same thing. They do the same thing with the crypto market, in the last few months. They kept pushing it lower and lower and lower and lower, and a lot of people out there are actually margining. We don't margin. In the software doesn't even margin at all. We don't have a 2-to-1 margin option on the screen that you could just check and say use 2-to-1 margin. In my old system, I did. But we removed that here. Very few people were even using it in the old system. We all learned not to margin. We learned not to gamble over the years. So with the GoBabyTrade system, we don't gamble. We only use the money we actually have. So let's see. Attila, you mentioned, so that's how we got robbed in the 2000 crash. You mentioned set it and forget it. We always have this discussion, but I feel like I should say something because I don't want people to think when you get the trader and you set it, that you have to forget it. It doesn't mean don't look at it. When he says forget it, he means you don't have to go in there and change things. It's already got the default strategy that most of us are all just using. I'm still using the default strategy. Most people don't change the default strategy. But, set it and forget it. When I hear set it and forget it, I'm thinking of a mutual fund or something where you put your money in there and you never see it until some report comes out. That to me is set it and forget it. But in this system, set it and forget it means you don't have to go to the strategies and fiddle with the strategy. But you can look at it every day. It's on your cell phone. Just go to Safari or your browser app on your phone. You can bring up your trader. You go while you men out there. I don't want to sound chauvinistic, but when I'm shopping with my wife, I push the cart and she puts stuff in it. So because I don't know how she does it. I think she's amazing that she could put stuff in that cart. I would not know what to put in that cart. Anyways, so sometimes while I'm pushing the cart, I'll bring up my trader on the phone and just see how the market's doing, see how my trader's doing. In any case, but that's what set it and forget it means. It doesn't mean you can't see it or anything like that. And the next note I took here, it said the less you know, the better off you are. Now that comes from experience. It comes from the less you know. It's the people who know stuff that have learned stuff over the years that feel like they know how they want the market to work or how they want things to be. And the auto trader trades a lot of times the opposite of what people normally would do because of the money management. Because it's loading up. When the market goes lower, the robotic trader, even though it's buying and selling while it's going down, it's going lower and it's adding more as it's going. Like Donald Trump has $7 billion worth of crypto. We all know that. It's just on the internet. And he didn't buy it at the bottom. He bought it while it was going down. So he was adding. Whereas we're adding too in the downtrending market. But we're also selling on the way. Because when it's going down, it's wiggling. Buy, sell. And then buy, and then if it goes lower, we buy again. But then the action's down here, and then it goes lower. But we keep adding along the way if it goes lower. And so we have this beautiful inventory all the way down. So when a market jumps, like, since I'm sharing my screen here real fast, let me just give you a quick, coin market cap. Look what happened just a couple days ago with L3, layer 3. Now, if you're a new user for the last few months, that's one of the default coins that you have. So a lot of you have this coin already, and you saw it go from 1 cent to 2.5 cents in one day, just a couple days ago. 150% jump. What a beautiful day that was. That felt so good. And we just sold off all that free money, free inventory, all that inventory we bought down at the bottom and just sold it off for free, for free. Because if the price goes up here, anything you bought lower is just gone. You sold it all off in that rise. And then you're buying it more down here and then it went up again. And then you bought more down here and then it popped again, Another, what is that? I don't even know, from 1.8 cents to 2.2 cents. Just free money. I mean, I don't know how to describe it other than calling it free money. And that's
That's
the way that
interesting. I think, Ed, we talked about this last week. What percentage of the market or all the trades that are happening are automated now?
in in the real world?
Yeah.
Well,
We talked about it last week, and I was surprised by your answer.
oh, what? I'd say almost all of them.
Yeah, you said over 95%. And so whenever
Yeah.
everybody's like, hey, I'm going to watch the charts and indicators and listen to people and make my own decisions, you're up against, but 99% of it
You're
is all robots that already know what you're going to do, and then they steal from you.
Well, they already knew when they pushed the prices down where they wanted to go. That's the advantage that the whales had. That I wouldn't say the whales, but the institutions, BlackRock, Fidelity, they're sitting on billions of shares of all. They own probably 95% of all the cryptos are owned by the wealthy and by the institutions. The public is out here. We're fiddling around with pennies. We're over here playing around with a fraction of the shares that are actually out there. So don't think you can control anything. They're in control of this market
Yeah,
completely.
think of it fundamentally when you talk about the institutions. They have enough liquidity to force the prices down, which means that theoretically they would have to sell from their inventory or bags. But then the psychological, emotional switch of the everyday investor and everybody's head comes unglued, forces them out, which means that the same institutions that are selling and forcing the prices down get to buy more at the bottom because they forced you out.
Right. And they're doing it. And I talk to people a lot. And people are doing it. They're falling for that stuff. And like I said, I'm the opposite of Hillary Clinton. She says when they go high or when they go low, we go high. I'm saying no, when they go low, we go low. You want me to keep buying all the way to the bottom? Well, that means I own all this inventory. Picture a ladder with all those steps. I own at each step I own shares, or you will too. You own all those shares at each step of the price going from the bottom all the way up. So they can never rise it without you taking money. I mean, don't you feel power? I mean, I feel so much. To know that they can never rise these prices without me cleaning up. Now, some people will say, well, it's never going to go to that price and all that. Well, even if it never goes up here, it might come halfway back. I watched ACH go from 2.2 cents to 5.6 cents. That's a pretty big jump, in 5 days, just a few months ago. And then it did that a couple times actually. I watched Shiba Inu go up 66% one day and then 100% the very next day, about a year ago. You know, and L3, I watched it go up 50% a few months ago in one day. And then 5 minutes later, it came right back down. And then now, just a few days ago, we watched it go up 150% in one day. So, all this inventory we're buying at the bottom, we just keep reselling it. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Again, I didn't invent commerce. So quit looking at me like I'm some kind of a genius. I didn't invent the wheel. I mean, this stuff's been around for forever. Commerce has been around forever. That's the way all stores work. That's the way McDonald's works. That's how Burger King works. It's all the same. They add up the cost of the ingredients of what they're going to cost, what it's going to cost to make that hamburger, and then they're going to sell it to you at a higher price. It's not rocket science. That's what the auto trader does. Other traders don't do that. The auto trader specializes in calculating how much is this costing me when I buy it, and how high does it have to go for me to make my profits? The whatever profits I've designated that I want, 3%, 5%. Even though I said I want 5% profit, if a coin jumps straight up, like look at that's a straight line up. I mean, if it does that, that's that might be a 50% gain. I didn't just take 5% on those shares. I took 50%. So it jumps around and the auto trader takes advantage of it. I say we trap the market. Right now, I raised my profit goals to 5%. Why did I do that? We look at the rules right here. Profit goal, 5%. Why did I do that? The default is 3%, all right, for everybody. It's been 3% for a year, exactly 1 year, actually, since one day before the election last year. And the default is 3%, but I raised it to 5% just because I said, you know what? These coins are moving good. We're getting crazy moves in the market. And also, it's time to punish the market a little bit. I've got some nice inventory. I've got, as far as the number of lots, 22 buys of ACH going down from the top. 20 Doge, 34 GRT. It's like they pushed these coins down like that. They deliberately did that. They kept pushing it lower, 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 the wealthy, right? They kept pushing these prices down. Now it's time to punish them. Now it's time to say, you know what? You got me to buy all these shares. We're sitting at the bottom. You want to go back up there? Because I know they want to go back up there because that's where they're going to make their billions of dollars. They're not going to make it down at the bottom because they're not trading the way we are at the bottom. So they're just trying to add more and more and more. They're trying to actually corner the crypto market. They're actually trying to own all the crypto. They own 95% right now. They want the other 5. They're trying to drive the little guy out completely because they want to make the billions. See, that's the difference between a regular person and a what do you call them, Attila? Uber wealthy?
Uber wealthy.
Uber wealth, the super wealthy, they don't, with us, we're happy to make money. They don't want you to make money. They want to make all the money. They want to own all the shares.
Right.
And because when this market takes off, they want to make their billions and they want you to continue working your job. And that's what Edward would say.
Just over broke. You're
J-O-B.
taught to go to school, get a job, trade time for money, but not for your profit.
That's what we're all taught to do our whole life. So when a software is not taking profits, it's doing one or the other because the prices are moving around. It's either buying more or it's taking profits. That's what a wiggle is. Up, down, up, down. I hate it when I say up, down, and when I went down when I said up. Up, I always start down, but I start with up. And it's I catch it. Up, down, up, down.
So let me ask you a question. I'm gonna throw you off a little bit. This is a question for both you, Ed and Casey. Given your knowledge and experience in the space, and I don't care who answers first, but questions for both of you, and the fact that the market has been pushed 90% down in the last
4 years.
4 years. Being so that we're so early in the space, I always say, and I've taken the perspective lately of stepping back from the market. Everybody's so focused on what happens in these little time periods, and quite frankly, without the trader, you drive yourself absolutely crazy. I don't even know how you could be a professional trader. But let me finish the question. If you step back from the marketplace, given the fact that the trader literally liquefies your holdings. And what I mean by that is it allows cash flow even while you're holding, right, over the long term. How do you feel about the market? I know this is some abstract opinion. What are things going to look like in the next 5 years? Is ACH going to recover to where it is? My opinion is I think we're looking at the darkest, cheapest days in the market that people will ever see. I know my opinion is 5 years from now, the standard question is, do you remember when all this stuff was so stupid cheap,
Yep.
right? And you're holding, you're making money, but while you're holding, you're making even more money. So, long way to ask a question. What's your opinion of that analysis?
Well, I guess
What do you
ladies
think?
first. I'll go.
Ladies first, there you go.
I mean, anybody who's held Bitcoin for a 5-year period is up by a lot.
A whole lot.
I'd say for the other cryptocurrencies, there are some that will survive, but as for a 5-year period, I don't like to comment on that because sometimes, hey, we got the Netscape and AOL and Yahoo, and those are really big, but then they got replaced by Google.
Right.
So we're still in that new nascent period where we're not sure which one is going to come out, and maybe one comes out on top for a little bit and then gets replaced by something. But what's nice about the traders is it doesn't matter as long as the price is going up and down, you're making money instead of just like locking up your money and then hoping that it'll go up in 5 years and not get, have a glitch or have some kind of regulatory problem or the founders, just go away. There's so many points of failure with a project if you're just buying and holding a project for 5 years, especially these newer, not even companies. That's my opinion for that. But
It's good. I mean, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, I think that the quality will continue to boil to the top when you talk about good quality companies that are part of the utility infrastructure, because we're still building the foundational infrastructure. You talk about XRP and XLM and ACH and HBAR and all of those things that have real value. I think that things will get consolidated and a lot of the BS coins will disappear only to enhance the ones that have real utility and value.
Well, my answer is a combination of both of your answers, actually. It's the same thing. I'll elaborate a little bit though on where were we 4 years ago with these coins. So the whales they already knew their game plan in October of 21 when the crypto winter started. Any of you remember, some of you may remember what the market looked like from April of 21 to October of 21. I'll tell you, it was flying. I mean, it was flying. These coins were flying. I mean, I had my laptop sitting next to my bed. I used to, first thing in the morning, I'd open up my eyes, I'd lift up the lid to see how many thousands I made while I was sleeping.
After you kissed your wife.
No, 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 no. It was, I had all night for that. But I would lift up the lid to see how much money I made while I was sleeping. So the market was flying, and then that's when you could see that the big boys said, we want in now. Now that we see, it's kind of like Crypto Casey. She watched it for months before she released it to her audience, before she mentioned GoBabyTrade to her audience. She wanted to be sure. And I feel like that's what the whales wanted. They were doing their research and they said in October of 21, they made the declaration that, all right, we're going to drive this thing all the way down. We're going to grab all the shares and then we're going to rocket this thing to new highs. Now, they've already been doing this for 4 years now. This crash didn't just start. You're only seeing the tail end of it. But for the last 4 years, this market's been dropping. All of these coins dropped dramatically. I mean, GRT, I think, was at $1 4 years ago. It's at a nickel now. ACH was at 12 cents. It's at 1 cent now. I mean, these coins, and these are multi-million-dollar companies that, I like to talk about those two simply because, man, I love them. I mean, you can't scare me out. And there's nothing they could do. Like even GRT, I've taken 63,000 in profits. Yes, the open inventory is down 120,000. They only did that in the last couple months because just 3 months ago, all of my positions were net positive. I didn't have any red here at all. So you can see they drove these coins into the ground these last few months. In my opinion, it's a last minute push. And I've been telling everyone for the last 2 months, we're going to see blood in the streets. We're going to see this market crash big before we see it go up. And I feel like we've seen that. I feel like this last month has been a straight down market. They've been pushing it hard down. And
Hey, Ed.
I think we're getting real close to an unbelievable rally. I think these coins are at their bottom personally.
And also, if you
Hey,
think
Ed.
about it, just a month ago, we were at all-time high, 126. Now we're at 85 or 90 something. But
Yeah,
I mean, it's been
see?
a very crazy 30 days.
Hey, Ed.
Driving that last minute push to get everybody out.
To your point, Ed, I just checked my portfolio because you were talking about GRT. And how much money did you make on GRT? 63,000?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've owned GRT since about 4 years ago, and I own quite a bit of it. I'm down 57% as a buy and holder. So that
Yeah.
validates exactly what you're
Oh,
saying.
buy and hold is dead. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel sorry for
Well, it's not
almost everybody out there is a buy and holder, and they're just getting killed. Mostly, it's just because they went all in at the top, and then it dropped, and then now they're out of the game, and they're just waiting for it to go back up.
But here's the magic point. Before GoBabyTrade, what choice did they have?
Well, being a buy and holder isn't bad if you're dollar cost averaging in at the right prices, which is what you could do with the auto trader. So if you're dollar cost averaging in and you're buying it all along the way, that's different than buying it or putting all your money in at the top and just watching it drop. Then you got this no man's land here where you don't own anything. Like if you got in ACH at 12 cents and now it's at 1 cent, you got this big gap. And until it goes back up to 12 cents, you're underwater. And that could be years. And some people, some discussions I've had over the last few days with individuals, they're saying, well, they believe some of these coins may not go back up to the top. I don't believe that, but they say it. And what if it's true? It doesn't matter to me. I'm still making money down here forever. I'm going to trade it forever.
I will say one interesting thing before I have to go. I'll be back for Q&A. But I don't know if you've seen this new X402 payment standard. Basically, what's going to happen is bots and all these AI agents that have otherwise had problems being able to transact money whenever just autonomously interacting on the internet, now they'll be able to do that. So if we think about, all right, if I'm buying and holding a coin with a whole team of humans that's doing a great job, and then now we have all these AIs that are writing code and being able to pay for stuff in order to, put stuff out there. That's going to be a lot of interesting changes that we've never been through yet.
Sounds like increased volatility.
Yes, and that's why I'd say like probably bank on volatility and don't bank on buying something, holding it, and hoping it goes up because I think a lot of things will be replaced more quickly than they ever have before in the past, as far as developing new tech that people will use.
Cool. Right. Well, you heard it for the first time from Crypto Casey, everybody.
Yeah, I need to make a video about it. It's like breaking news stuff, but I need to.
It is breaking news stuff.
Get smart enough to talk about it first before making the video.
Right,
the due diligence.
I just wrote it down.
Go do your
I'll
thing.
be looking for your video.
Huh?
I'll be looking for your video.
So,
cool. All right, just text me, guys. I'll be back up whenever you guys are doing Q&A, but I have some people showing up, and then
you got it.
I'll be back.
No worries. Thank you.
All right.
All right, so let's take a quick look at. I like to always explain the concept of the trader because, and this is where I wrote, and again, I even wrote it and I checked it off and then I circled it. The less you know, the better. I can't say that enough because there's so many thousands of different ways people want to do things in the market. But there's one way the auto trader trades, and that is it constantly takes money. It keeps taking money. And sometimes people want to fight with the market or they want to fight with the auto trader. They're in war with the market, trying to demand that the market do things. See, the market doesn't care what you think. So you can try to do you can tell it to do other things that you think that it should do, but it's not going to listen to you. It doesn't care. It doesn't even know you exist. And a lot of what you're doing is just gambling, really, and hoping that the coins go up. And with the auto trader, we don't care where they go. Actually, you always hear me say it, down is good, and a well-seasoned auto trader has a lot of inventory. 22 lots, 34 lots. That's a lot of inventory. Shiba Inu down here, 27 lots. Swift, 25 lots. I want a lot of inventory. You can't own enough inventory, in my opinion, at these prices where we're sitting right now. These coins are so ridiculously low, embarrassingly low. It's like buying Microsoft for $5 a share. It's just crazy.
Yep.
And so there's no rush. It's like, take it easy. The whales have been, trying to drive everybody out for the last 4 years. They know what their time frame is. We don't. So it's just relax. Just keep taking profits. The profits will add up. You can't stop the profits. Open positions is just numbers going up and down as the price of the coin goes up and down. But the auto trader never takes a losing trade. So it's always keeps adding to your profits. The profit bucket just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. And here's the concept of the bucket and the well. If it's water and the bucket has to go all the way to the bottom to get the water and then go all the way to the top and dump it out, nobody disputes that. If it just keeps pumping water like that, it can't. Everybody knows the bucket can't go halfway down and then go back up. There won't be any water in the bucket. It has to go all the way to the bottom, and it has to go all the way to the top to get the water. And millions of people are okay with that. The whole concept of a bucket and a well with water, and everybody will say it'll pump millions of gallons forever. Fine. But if it's the crypto market, you see it doesn't have to go all the way down, and it doesn't have to go all the way up. It just has to wiggle. Buy, sell. And just keep doing that forever, because that's what it is going to do forever. Uh-oh, my bucket froze. Did I click it? Maybe it will freeze. Okay. But
what if the water freezes?
Yeah, see? People always come up with crazy stuff like that. It gets hotter the further down in the earth you go, But you see this here. You're holding these losers. Those are the lots that, like I said, I have 22 lots of ACH. I've got 22 of those. And it's okay because I keep taking money. And this money will overtake anything that's down here. It doesn't matter. And if you get a big jump like that, you sell a lot of these off all at once. It's what I showed you, like this layer 3 here. Even when it popped, even right here, like when it jumped up, when it was right here at this point, it sold anything it owned down there. But then when it went down, it bought more here on that wiggle down. And then it went up here and it sold it. And then when it went down here and it bought it again. And then it went up here and it sold it again. And then it went down here and it bought it. Then it sold it. Then it bought it. Then it sold it. Then it bought it. Then it sold it. You're just constantly taking money. Profit-wise, I'm way up here. I don't even care about... It doesn't even matter where the inventory that you're holding, because think of the inventory you're holding. You're buying ACH at a penny. It's like, come on, this is an insult to humanity. I love this coin at 1 cent. And every time I see it go down below a penny, like 0.009, I laugh because it's just a joke. It doesn't even matter. I mean, they're like Apple Pay worldwide, man. And they keep pumping out more news. They did something, I think, in Michigan, was it? Or I don't even know, Louisiana, or I don't even know. But they're constantly adding more. They're doing more deals in different states and different countries. I mean, they're huge, and they're at a penny. It's a joke. And so I don't mind adding inventory. In the meantime, I just keep taking free money, profits on the wiggles. So do you want to go over the trader right away? I know Attila likes me to talk about the left side of the screen. What you're seeing right here is This trader is, you're seeing a web page. This is a website that is showing you what your auto trader is actually doing. The auto trader is running on my servers, whereas the original auto trader from 2001 to 2017 or 18, before I sold it, was downloadable software that ran on your computer. But even that software back then was too big to run on your computer because people were complaining that they couldn't even open their email while the auto trader was running. And then the AI, it was just, right now the AI runs on 4 separate servers. See that? So there's no way you could do it on your PC. So the new software that I released in 2020 and 21, 2020 I released the stock trader, 2021 I released the crypto trader. Those are both web-based. They run on my servers. I've got racks of servers. I've got this huge cage, they call it, and the servers are inside my cage. All of my servers that are that cage is dedicated to my servers alone. And I'm in there with AT&T and all these other big companies. It's called a co-location center. And so all the servers are running, I mean, all the auto traders are running on my server. So you never have to worry about it running all day. It's running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't have to worry about turning it on, making sure your computer's running. You can always go to this web page and see what your trader's doing. It's showing you. It says this is a live trader. It's actually, this is a debug statement here, server 23. It's telling me what server this web page is running on because I have multiple servers. And it's showing me my current account value, how much profits it took today. And I didn't take any today, all right, yet. It shows down here in the lower right, you can see today on the date. It's saying, and I only did 2 buys. One of the buys, it just did a straight up buy. It called AI, and AI said, I don't see it going lower, so just buy it. This one here, it said, hold on, don't buy it yet. It's going lower. The AI says it's going to go lower, so it put an AI at the end of the description, so you know when AI gets involved in one of your trades. AI is always being called, you know, anytime the auto trader is going to trade. If the price is going higher and the software wants to take profit, it can call AI and ask it, do you think the price is going to go higher? Like right here, over here, it says profit goal reached. There's no AI. That means the price went higher and the software said, the AI didn't say it's going to go higher. It didn't predict. I don't like to use predict like that. But the numbers didn't, you know, indicate that it's going to go higher. That pattern didn't show up that indicates it's going to go higher. Whereas the pattern over here on this trade, it said, oh, based on the pattern that I'm looking at, the ecosystem, the 27 indicators, stochastics and all those, it sees a snapshot of the market at that instant in time. And it says, based on that snapshot of what I'm looking at, I've seen this pattern thousands of times, and I'm 96% sure it's going to go higher in the next 30 minutes. And so it says, so the auto trader holds off on taking the profit and it lets it go higher. If you ever see any bots or anything out there that are trying to tell you that they can predict that what a coin's gonna do a day in advance, there's no way. Because see, even after 30 minutes, that all the indicators start changing. And the whole pattern that you were looking at breaks down, and then it's looking at different patterns. And those new patterns, you know, might not indicate that it's going to go higher. You know, so you can only look, you know, each pattern is only good for about 30 minutes out, and then things start falling apart. So AI can only tell you based on, it's a neural network pattern recognition. It's looked at the market for 25 years. When I look at my AI, it's like a 25-year-old compared to some AI that just popped up in the last couple of years. It's like a 2-year-old. Can you imagine? Picture a 25-year-old in a foot race against a 2-year-old. They
Good
don't
luck.
have prayer. Plus, the 2-year-old AI doesn't know what it doesn't know, because until it sees the patterns, it doesn't know what it hasn't seen them. So it doesn't know what it doesn't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't even know that it doesn't know it, you know? So I don't know what they're looking at. I don't understand what they're doing. I know I saw one system out there that said something about they give you 50 strategies that you can pick from, and I'm like, I got one strategy that makes money here that consistently. I don't believe anybody has 50 strategies. I'd love to see what those 50 strategies are because I've seen thousands of strategies, only one that makes money. So, and it trades completely different than the way everybody else trades. Um, so it shows my 30-day profits taken 2,900. It's a pretty slow month. You know, I've had $20,000 months, you know, but I still can't eat that much anyways, you know, when I go to the store, you know, when I'm spending my money. You know, since February 7th, 2023, it's taken 356,000 in profits. You can add them up right here. If you just add up this closed positions P&L column, that adds up to that number, to that 356,000. You can also go down here and look at how it made it. $30 there, $49 there, $3.79 there, $46 there. What I say is I take whatever the market wants to give me. It's not up to me to decide. It's up to the market to tell me. What do you want to give me? You want to give me $3? I'll take it. I don't care. You want to give me $46? I'll take that. I'm not here to dictate to the market. But I know when I add up all these little amounts, they add up to that 356,000. It's kind of like some people want to demand from the market. I want to make $1,000 a day, that kind of stuff. It's like that's like having a 7-Eleven and saying you want to sell $50 bags of potato chips. Nobody's going to pay you $50 for a bag of potato chips. You have to only sell it based on what the market will bear. Again, I didn't invent commerce, but this is the way it works. The market is willing to give you $4 for a bag of potato chips. You can sell the $4 bags all day long, but you're not going to sell a $50 bag of potato chips. So you can't boss the market around. The market's in control, not you. The software has learned to allow the market to be in control, but to take advantage of the market. And the way we do that is we allow the software to buy at the lower prices because I can hold those losers. Don't worry about those. The price, if it goes up there, I'll sell them. If it never goes back up there, I don't care. I'm going to make the same amount of money per trade down here as I did up here. It doesn't matter to me where it goes. So it just doesn't matter where the price goes. The name of the game is keep taking money. If you're walking down the street and you find this money on the ground, this is February. Look, this is, I'm just happening to, I don't know, I just scrolled down here. But look what, this is all September 27th. All this action is one day. I just noticed that. So I don't even know how many more September 27s there are. Here's a few more. If I scroll up a little higher, it goes all the way up to there. So, I mean, you know, sometimes you have fantastic sell days, but then look what happened the next day on September 28th. You started the day replenishing the shelves. You had to refill the inventory on the shelf. And then what happened? You started selling it off the same day, September 28th. And, you know, we started selling it all off again. Selling, and then buying, and then sold another one. And then the next day, September 29th, same thing. You had a lot of buying. Then you had a few sells. And then you had more buying. And then September 30th, you had more selling. It's just buy, sell, fill up the shelves. Do this for the rest of your life. Can you imagine? This is perpetual money. Now look what we're looking at now. We're looking at a crazy market that has given us a lot of down, which is fantastic, because I just look at it as, you know, it's like, wow, you know, the whales are really loading up now. You know, they're pushing it down as hard as they can, and it's working because I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people are in panic mode out there. They're just dumping their shares for nothing. They're just selling stuff because they don't understand. They don't know how to manage the money, and therefore they're just all in. And then it's going lower, and then they have their friends and their family and other people that are telling them, get out, you're being made a fool of. This market's all voodoo. It's not even real. It's all smoke and mirrors. You're gonna lose everything. How many people got talked out of their Bitcoin 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago when they were sitting on 10 Bitcoin or 100 Bitcoin? I talked to one guy that owned 100 Bitcoin, sold it all off,
No.
sold it all off for pennies based on the price that it's at today. I mean, he could have been a multi-millionaire. Instead, he sold it all off, and he admitted, he told me straight out, it was the peer pressure. The people he talked to, his friends, his family, telling him, get out, it's not real. And that's where we're at today, because 95% of the cryptos are owned by the wealthy and the large institutions, and there's not many shares available or out there to the public. The public really isn't even in the market mostly. And you can all take a survey, and every one of you should take this survey. Talk to people. Don't be afraid. Just shoot the breeze. Like I do when I went to Quest Diagnostics. I walk in, Quest Diagnostics is that blood place where you get your blood work done. My cholesterol is awesome, man. I mean, it's really down low. It's really, really cool. So anyways, but I'm sitting in there in the waiting room, and nobody's talking, nobody's saying one word. It was just driving you nuts. They're all looking at their cell phones, and it's like, who does that? You know? So I just blurt out, hey, who wants to talk crypto? Just like that. And then the last time I did it, the room burst into laughter. Everybody started laughing. You know, and so I laughed along with them too, like it's all a big joke. I'm like, yeah, it's funny, haha. I'm like, wow, man, they're out of it, man. And that just tells me the public is out of it. And then that feeds into my knowledge of just observing. And I'm like, the whales are loading up. They're trying to buy all the shares. And I can see what's happening. The lower they push those coins, the more people get out. And the more shares the whales are loading up on. Believe me, when these prices are going down, you think we're the only ones buying at the bottom like this? The whales are loading up like they're fighting with each other to buy these shares to get as much as they can. They're trying to corner the market like the Hunt brothers did. I think that was in 2010 when they tried to corner the silver market.
Yep.
I mean, so they're doing, and they're being successful at it. I see it because the public's out of it. The public just doesn't know. And when I say the public, I'm just talking about most people that I talk to out there, you know, on the street. You know, people don't know. When you're in line at a store, if I'm in line at a store, I'm talking crypto. If I'm waiting in line at the pharmacy, I'm talking crypto. And everyone I'm talking to, they're out of it. It's like, what's a crypto? You know, no, I'm not into cryptos. Oh, no, you could lose everything. I'm like, I don't see how you could lose everything. I mean, the auto trader's not putting all your money in at one time, especially if you're just getting in now. For any of you newbies, you're just getting in at rock bottom, man. These prices are sitting at how far down do you think they can go? They're already down so much. And, you know, I mean, they're already, I mean, this one's at a penny. Give me a break. That coin should be sitting at $2, at least $2, I'm going to say, if not 20. You know, it's like buying Gillette for 2 cents in the 40s. What an opportunity. What a golden opportunity. This market, we are at that infancy we're at the beginning of something so big that, I mean, what an opportunity. I just can't get over it. I mean, anybody using this thing, we're all going to get rich. You know, anyone using an auto trader. So, but you want to get started. You don't want to wait around because when you first jump in, it's only going to buy one lot. You're going to buy if you're trading these coins, you're going to buy one. It's going to do one buy of ACH, one buy of Doge. So you don't have any inventory. So if the coin jumps, like that one coin jumped 150%, you don't have any inventory to sell. You only got one buy. As opposed to I've got 22 or 20 or 34 of these. I'm going to sell a lot of inventory off every time it jumps around. And then by default, you should save 100% of your profits. And see how easy it is to change this. The default is to save 100%. Okay? Now you saw I was just doing a webinar a week ago, and I had 106,000 in here. I released it to the trader. It went up to 213, and I released the whole 213 to the trader to allow it to use it because I added some more coins. You can see I added more
Yeah, I
coins.
see your account value went up. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just taking advantage of the down market. This is crazy. These coins
Yeah.
are good too.
Yeah, what do you always say? You can't own enough crypto at these levels?
You can't own enough. Anybody that's not in the crypto market is missing an opportunity of a lifetime. You're never gonna this, and I hate to say never, but never say never, right? But I'm gonna say it. You're never gonna get an opportunity like this again. Have an auto trader that I've been developing for 25 years that has cornered the market and knows how to take advantage of a crashing market and have it automatically do everything. All you got to do is put the money in and put a few coins in there and watch it go and watch it just take profits forever. I mean, if you found money on the ground every day of your life, you'd be walking around, man, looking on the ground all the time, I mean, you really would.
Like I
If you
said,
found
if the
money
tra
every day.
if the trader only makes $20 a day, the end of the 3-year license is $21,900 on whatever you started with, which will show an example at the end, and the cost of the trader, big shout out to a friend of ours, Simon Says Crypto. Go look him up on YouTube, like him, great guy. He said, "Let me tell you, I've calculated it all the way. I said this earlier. 13.2 cents per hour for a machine that never loses money." I don't know if your 401k has those same parameters. Probably not. It's mind-boggling to me because we took it all the way down to $3.19 a day, which I jokingly said half the price of a cup of Starbucks. If you went in and ordered a caramel macchiato, it's actually less than half of the cost to automate part of it, or as much as your financial life as you want. Did we drink the Kool-Aid? Yeah, because it
Well,
works.
because we
Because it
know it's
works.
real.
Because it works. Yeah.
And if you go to use this website, gobabytrade.com/cryptocasey, you get $1,000 off the
Yep.
website
Thank
price.
you for reminding me of my dereliction of duty. There are some things I'll post in the since you were from the Navy, you get that. Let me post that link in. There you go.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it'll be
Yep.
in the chat, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
And
as well,
you can see it reduced the price right there.
Yep.
When I click buy now, it lowered the regular price from $44.99 to your price of $34.99. And that's a 3-year license.
Yep.
Yep. I'm also going to post in support of Mr. Barsano and Crypto Casey's audience. Attila mentioned that he and I are here to be the buffer. If you have any questions, if you have any technical issues, excuse me, or just want to understand more about the trader, right? We're here as financial intelligence. You can join that community, which I'll put a link in there. But most importantly, we strive for 6-star white glove support and service. It's not just one of us. It's not somebody in the back room. I just posted support at GoBabyTrade. Ed Barsano, GoBabyTrade, and his entire team are there. No one's
And we
left
don't
behind.
leave. We
Right.
don't leave. We don't leave support questions unanswered.
Unanswered.
Every day they all
Yep.
get answered.
Yep.
RCT marketing systems, supported RCT marketing systems. And then Ed, you'll eventually get to the dynamic AI driven frequently asked questions. So that's the last link that I put in that allows you to go glean information of all the questions that have been asked about this trader, people's performance, whatever it happens to be, and you'll see we'll show a performance matrix of 50 of the top traders and what they're trading, what their returns are. So as Ed, I'll beat you to the punch. This is not a transparent. I mean, this is not a black box. It's a completely transparent environment that allows you to prosper.
Right. Well, it tells you what's going on with the with your coins, with like when it's going to buy more, like Swift. I got some of these unblocked right now. I don't know why. To research that. But here, next estimated trade price, it's telling me how far the price has to go before it's going to buy, how far down it's got to go, and how far up it's going to go before it buys more. So you always know where it's at. And you can always see, like I'm down 3.65% on this one lot. And it's telling me what the target price is. If it goes to that 1.7, right here, 17.1 cents. If it goes to that price, it's going to sell. So it's not a black box. It's not hiding anything from you. It tells you ahead of time. The software already won the minute it bought the coin. It already knows where it's at. It already knows when it's going to buy, when it's going to sell, when it's going to add to more positions.
Hey, Ed, real quick, that previous screen you had up, I can't believe this, but I had the trader about 7 months before I realized we were able to click on the little plus sign and
Oh,
see all
really?
that detail. I mean, you blew me away with that information. I mean, who does that? Where you literally know what it needs to go to buy more and where it needs to go to for it to cash out for a profit for
Yeah,
you. That's
if it goes down, it says it's going to buy more on a down. It's adding to winners also. So this
how
one's
great is
going to buy
that?
more at 21 cents. It's going to buy more at 26 cents. And if there's a big enough gap, it can fill the gap. You see here, added to gap. That means it went in the middle of those.
Wow.
It went between those and it said, I see an open price here that I didn't buy. But if it already bought at that price, it won't buy it again. So if the price can move around. If it tries to go back to a price that it already bought it at, it won't buy it
Mhm.
again. It's doing money management. You want to reserve as much money as you can at the top so that when it goes down lower, you have money to trade. This is where most people go wrong is they go all in at what
Right.
you call the top is when you first buy the coin. That's regardless of where it was years ago. When you first buy a coin for the first time, I call that the top. From that point, it's gonna reserve your money all the way down to a 75% drop in the price of the coin, meaning no matter where the price wiggles to, it doesn't matter. You're always taking money. You never run out of money in that window. And that's the secret to the market, really, is always be taking profits, always be trading. Just like your 7-Eleven, keep those doors open. I'm always amazed when if I'm driving and I'll see I don't know, maybe a restaurant or I don't know, any place anytime I see a store that is closed, it just always amazes me that it's like, man, why don't you open that door, man? Unlock that door, you know? Like Thanksgiving, there's going to be a lot of closed shops out there. So I guess, but not the auto trader. It's going to be trading 24/7 on Thanksgiving Day. I mean,
Yippee.
that's the beauty.
Love it. Hey Ed, we
Yeah.
got we got a little bit of a benefit here. If you could go to we've got Justin who is asking a question which plays right into the $1 billion report. He says, is the trader able to pick coins with potential to profit, or do we set the coins the trader to monitor and trade? It's a little bit confusing the way he
Well,
asked
you
that,
can
but
set the coins yourself. You can pick your own coins, but we have a report. Picture a 7-Eleven. I'm going to use Corey. One guy sent me this report. It's beautiful. If you're opening a 7-Eleven for the first time, you're going to want to sit down. You're probably going to sit down with a distributor because you're not going to call 1,000 different vendors to order stuff. You're going to probably call a distributor. You're going to work with a distributor that's going to that's going to have all the stuff you can sell in your 7-Eleven, but you're not going to want to sell all of it because you only got so many shelves in your store. 7-Eleven, Quick Mart, any of those small stores. Like the gas stations, they have stuff in there. You're going to deal with a vendor, and they're going to show you all the stuff, and you're going to want to sell the stuff that moves the most. Somebody actually, I always talk about this, but I never actually saw a report because I'm just guessing that that must be how it works because I can't imagine calling 1,000 different vendors. So he sent me this report, the 7-Eleven distributor order sheet. And look what it has on it. The average sales over here in the middle is the average sales per day. And it's got the biggest movers at the top and the slowest movers as you go down the page. Whoops. Wasn't even that big. And then, you know, Reese's Buttercups, 145 of those. Chips, 130, Cheetos, 135 of those. Now, he always used to hear me say Band-Aids and iodine. I wouldn't want to sell those in my store.
And what do I always say?
I think he added those.
Yeah, the only reason you wanna be able to get Band-Aids and iodine is if you're in the crypto market and you don't have the trader.
And you're 70 years old because most people aren't going to even know how to use iodine, right? You know, comes from my generation. You know, it's part of the home remedy stuff. But I think he added those two because I mentioned Band-Aids and iodine. They would be at the bottom. But we have a report. Edward calls it the $1 billion report. It comes out the first of every month. Well, it's generated the first, but it takes a few days to generate the report. And it comes out every month, and it shows you the biggest moving items, the symbols that trade the most, that move the most. You might as well call that coffee, monster drinks, vapes, candy bars, potato chips. You know, look at it that way. Here's how many trades in the last 12 months. 1,272. SPA, 1,266. SWIFT. These two coins literally swap places every few months, but they stay at the top. These two have been at the top for like 6 months at least. It's amazing. But you got your top movers there. And if you go to the bottom of the report, you know, this is where you have the junk. I call them junk because, you know, it's like you really want to trade a coin that gives you 84 trades in a month or 40 trades in a month or 19 trades
a year.
That's a year. Excuse me. Everything I just said, I meant year. 84 trades in a year, 40 trades in a year. That's junk. These are junk coins. However, how many of you have these coins in your portfolio right now and you're just sitting on that junk? It doesn't even wiggle. It doesn't even move. I want to trade the stuff that moves. And again, I didn't invent commerce. This is how commerce works. You put stuff in your store that turns inventory, that moves a lot. The default coins that you guys, that new traders get right away is, I'll tell you, XCN. It's on line 10 now, but it was up there in the top five a few months ago. But XCN, and if you click on it, it actually takes you to the web page that shows you what the company does, which is cool. So you can actually see what the company does without, you know, searching the internet. It takes you right to it. It tells you it's a utility coin. Utility coins means they actually have products that make money. They're in commerce. They make money. Over 1,000 trades a year. I'll take that. You know, I don't have to trade the top one. Some people feel like, well, they want to swap out coins every month and go with the new top ones. I'm like, no, you're okay because you're benefiting because you're building inventory at the same time. So not only when you first start, you want the biggest movers, but then what happens is the auto trader starts building inventory, and that's what I call a well-seasoned auto trader. There's a lot of value in having all that inventory because it takes months to build that inventory. That's why I try to tell people, don't wait for the market to start taking off before you jump into the crypto market. Because you're up here, you only have one lot. So it jumps. Who cares? You made, just like today, Edward had that one little sell. Who cares? It was one sell. Who cares? I want a lot of inventory. It's okay that he did that. But I want him to be able to do it every day. And if you sell your inventory off, then you don't have anything, and then it buys it back. Now you got to wait for it to move 5% again. as opposed to having a lot of inventory where when a coin jumps, you're selling a lot of lots off at once. You're constantly, you got the market trapped. That's why I try to say you got to just jump on board. I'm not a salesman, boy, but I'm telling you, if you're not in the market, every day that you're not in the market, your auto trader's not doing one of these two things: closing positions profitably or adding positions at a loss, building inventory. You got to be doing one or the other every single day. And every day you're not doing it is just another day that you don't have an auto trader working for you. And I have people that when they sign up, and I've heard it so many times, man, I heard about this 6 months, and 6 months ago, I don't know, and I finally signed up. I wish I would have signed up 6 months ago. Yes, you would have built beautiful inventory in the last 6 months. Instead, he waited. And now he's got to wait to build that inventory again. It takes time. Once you got a well-seasoned auto trader, you got the market trapped. Because then you're always buying, selling, and they'll watch those profits add up.
The well-seasoned auto trader is definitely the trick to get to that point where you're 3, 4, 5 months in and that thing is purring like a kitten. You've got good inventory. But let me just clarify one thing. For those of you that are new and maybe you're a little bit confused about how the trader really works, Justin is asking a follow-up question to his last one. And that is, does the trader identify the current trend and make both bullish and bearish trades? If I was trapped on an elevator and somebody said, and I mentioned the trader to them, and they said, okay, we got 30 seconds till we get to my floor. How does this trader work? Real simple. When your coin goes up 3%, it'll take the profit for you, unless the AI kicks in and says there's a 95% probability it's going to keep going higher in the next 20 minutes. Then it'll wait. Same thing conversely on the way down. When it goes down and that coin goes 3% lower, it'll buy more inventory, additional lots for you, unless the AI kicks in and says there's a 95% probability it's going to keep going down in the next 20 minutes. So don't buy more yet.
So don't try to predict, don't try to forecast what the market's doing, because the markets, you have up days, you have down days. You might have an up week, and do you call that bullish? Because what's going to follow that up week might be another week of straight down. So you can't really, it doesn't even matter. Trying to forecast, you're just guessing is all you're doing. I'll tell you, that's all you're doing. You're just guessing. You went to Vegas, you threw all your money on number 15 and spun the wheel, and you hit 15. You go, wow, I'm so smart. And then you throw all your money back on 15 again and spin the wheel, and it comes up number 2. And you lose it all. It was random. With us, it's not random. With this trader, it's not random because the software is doing money management. It's doing risk management. It's putting you in positions that you're forcing the market to have to pay you. There is no market if coins don't wiggle. That's what makes the market. They don't just go straight up like that or straight down like that. They go, they're doing this all the way up. And this all the way down. Even though they're going down, even your bearish market, you want to call it, you're still buying and selling the whole time. Yeah. And then you got the market trapped. And then what happens is it's like L3 did here. What it did was you had some crummy days, and the people start getting scared when it dropped down like that. You see this red all the way at the bottom. People would call me and say, hey, Ed, do you think I should stop my auto trader from buying these because the prices are going so low? I'm like, no. The biggest money, you're going to watch when those things sell off, and it's all profit. Because when that market jumps, you're going to sell all this inventory. It doesn't even have to jump all the way up, just a little bit, and you'll sell all that off. I mean, you're constantly taking money. Look at all this free money. This is just an insult to humanity, is all I can call it. I call the whole market just an insult to humanity. Look at this. Look at all this buy, sell, buy, sell. Down here, buy, sell. You bought it real low and you sold it there. You buy it again. You're constantly buying and selling. Then when it went up here, any inventory you were left with down here, you just sold off on that jump. It's just, I mean, it's an insult to humanity. I don't know what to say because I don't know how everybody doesn't see it. And I've been doing this 25 years. So maybe I'm just brainwashed. I mean, not brainwashed, but I've got it burned into my head. I know that it's just free money and I'm going to just keep taking money forever. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop me. I'm not violating any laws. And I always say that. People hear me say that because it just feels criminal what I'm doing. The way we're just taking this free money out of the market. And there's nothing they can do. And depending on how much money you have, you could be pulling in 1,000 a day easily. I mean, I have people that call me up, some clients. One of my buddies from high school in Chicago, he calls me all the time, man, I made another 1,000 today. It's free money. And, it's kind of funny, but it is real. It's the market.
Well, you put you give the example in the past, you give the example of the toll booth. I'm a fisherman, and my little 11-year-old who just turned 11 a couple of days ago, he's like all into fishing, and I thought, how interesting. He asked me if we had a net to be able to throw out and catch bait fish. I'm like, wait a second. That's what the auto trader does. Is we've cast a net that just is there that fish run
and
into.
the money comes to you. You don't go to the money. I know the money comes to you. You don't go to the money. People think that somehow we're chasing the market around. We are chasing the market in one regard. If you were a regular toll booth sits out there, the toll booth industry, you can Google it, is a multi-billion-dollar a year business, okay? And the toll booths just sit there and wait for the cars to come to them, and then the car pays the $1.35 or whatever, and then drives on. If that toll booth was a GoBabyTrade toll booth, the person would pay and then start to drive, and then the toll booth would jump in front of it again and say, pay me again. I actually have an animation, but I think it takes too long to show that, remember? Where the car actually tries to get away. It goes backwards, and the toll booth chases it in front of it while it's going backwards. And he tries to go forward, and he's got to pay him. Or if the guy drives to his house, he gets off the highway and he drives to his house, his garage door opens, and what's sitting inside there waiting but another toll booth?
Yeah, it's as profound. It's as profound as your bucket in a well. If people understand that concept of the bucket in the well, then they realize they've been in a rigged game that it's just prices going up and down. But the market
is just taking money.
The market has taught you, and what do you talk about? These analysts on CNBC or MSNBC were talking all this smart stuff. All it is a distraction for you to buy something and hold it because you're
and be another buy and holder.
Right. You're believing in somebody else's performance instead of get out of the game. Get out of the game altogether of all this artificial information that you're relying on, and just simply trade something that is going up and down. And then you've got the report right in front of you. Okay, well, how do I identify the ones that are moving up and down the most violently? There you go. I don't know how we could end there. I mean, why do people go to school for 20 years to find out how to go to school, get a job, and trade time for money when you've just given them the answer to success in life?
I mean, and young people getting on board, I mean, I love it when, somebody in like, I don't know, their early 20s maybe gets on board because it stops them from getting brainwashed into the garbage that's on the internet, all the fake stuff out there, all the misinformation, or the guy teaching a trading class that doesn't even really trade the market, but he's teaching the class. And I've sat in those trading rooms and listened to the garbage they were spewing. I'm like, oh my God, if you traded the way they're talking, you're just going to lose all your money.
Yeah, I've said it before. You're in the you grow up, you say, "Ooh, I want to become a professional trader." Well, you go to school based on you're learning to trade based on false information and a faulty system that is rigged against you to begin with. So what are you learning? How to lose money faster? And then if you really think you're good at it, and you're only as good as closing your eyes, throwing a dart, and maybe getting it right 50% of the time, which means you're getting it wrong.
You're not going to get it right 50% of the time. I can guarantee that. You know why? Because I tried to win one of those big stuffed animals. And it's harder to hit those balloons than you think.
It is. It's very, very much akin to a rigged carnival game. You try and throw the ball in the bucket and it never stays there.
I never get those. I'm never that good.
That's
But
funny.
I watch on TV, and have you ever watched? Some of you use logic here. When a company is upgrading a company, doesn't it make sense that the coin's been or the stock has been down and they've been loading up and they built up all this inventory and then they upgrade it? And then what happens when they upgrade it? They're telling everybody time to jump in. So that the price is up here or even down here and they tell everybody jump in, and where does it go? Up. Because everybody starts jumping in and raising the price. It's just so now they have all these shares and then they start just dumping it all at a profit. Or they
Yep.
downgrade a company. It means they already sold off all their inventory up here. And I mean, then they downgrade the company nationally, say, yeah, this company's not going to make earnings or whatever. They make up excuses. Even you notice also when they report earnings sometimes on a company, whether it's good news or bad news, they decide, the analysts on the TV decide whether it's going to be good or whether we should raise the price or lower the price. It could be good news and the price goes down, or it could be bad news and the price goes up. It's like,
Yep.
the whales and the large institutions are in control of everything. All we can do is corner them, trap them, and say, look, you can move the prices around wherever you want to move them, but the auto trader's just going to keep buying and selling and taking all this free money. Piggyback what they're doing, and don't worry too much about the news. People watch, don't worry at all about the news. I don't even watch the news at all. I can't tell you right now why L3 went up 150% a couple days ago. I
Do
didn't
you
even
care?
look. I didn't look, and I don't even care. It's just, whatever, All I know is I had a lot of inventory and I sold it off. Thank you very much for the free money. I'm not worried about it. If you're running a 7-Eleven, and you wonder why, if a school bus full of kids pulls in, it's like, are you going to really research where did the school come from and why did that school bus arrive? No, you're just happy that a whole bunch of kids just came into your store and bought up all your potato chips and vapes and all that stuff.
Hey, Ed.
Yeah, just like this, the toll booths. I mean, if it's raining out and there's not a lot of cars coming to the toll booth, you think the guy behind the toll booth's worried about it? Or if cars are going by, worried about where they all going and stuff? Just sit back and collect your money, man. That's what the auto trader does. It's just a money machine. And the name of the game is the more money in this machine, the more money it makes. And we can go and look at that in the top
No,
trader
this is,
report.
perfect timing. Yep.
Yeah, the top trader report. It's like this guy here. This is a 1-year report trailing 12 months. The last 12 months. This guy started with $3,000 1 year ago, 12 months ago, and during that 12 months, he took 15,000 of profits off the table. Physical money, actual closed trades, profits. And that's after trading fees, by the way. That's after the trading fee. This is actual profits. That's 477%. Now, is he going to do that next year? I don't know. Whatever he's going to make, he's going to make. Again, I don't know. Nobody knows. This one here only started with $1,300 and took $3,400 and took 255%. That's 255%. You can go down here. Here, this guy started with almost 148,000 and took 166,000 in profits. Again, 112%. Where do you get returns like that? Can I go to a bank and just dump my money in there and get 100% return? Are they going to double my money? No, you're lucky to get 1% out of a bank. So you're basically loaning your money to a bank for free, and then you got these credit card companies. I got this in the mail a while ago that asking me, like Discover or something, like sign up for our credit card, and look at the interest they charged. If I can find it on here, 31.24%. So you loan your money to a bank and you get nothing, but this credit card company loans you money and they want 31% interest. It's like, what are we, 6 years old? Is what I think I said that last week. Are we 6? Is that the game? I mean, that's what's going on. So the auto trader takes all the sport out of the market. It took all the gameplay out of it. And you can click on view details and it can show what was he trading in that last year. Oh, look, Bitcoin and Sui, just 2 coins. And he doesn't even have 100% of his money in use. He only allocated 25% for each of those coins. And he was doing 3% moves on 20 lots. 3 times 20. Now, see, he shortened his trading window from 75% down to 60%, which means it's going to squeeze all of his money into that 60% window. The smaller the trading window, the more money it's going to squeeze into that smaller window. It's going to squeeze all your money into a smaller window, which means your lot sizes are going to be bigger. If you said 1 lot, if you only made your trading window 1%, all your money that you invested in there would go in at one time. Then you'd basically be like a buy and holder. However, as soon as it goes up 3% or 5%, whatever your settings are, well, in this guy's case, 3%, it would sell that 1 lot off at a profit. So some people shorten the trading window. The default is 75%, a 75% trading window. This one here, he's only trading Bitcoin, this person. And he is doing, look, he's only allocating 1%. He's trading on 1% moves, which is crazy, man, but people do it. And he's got a 50% trading window. He said, in his mind, he's saying, I don't believe that coin is going to drop more than 50%, get cut in half in value. And even if it did, then you'd be a buy and holder for a little while until it went back up there. That's all. But he's just constantly taking money. And what did he take? 100%. He doubled his money in 1 year. This one here, he's got a bunch of coins, and we recommend 3 to 5 coins is the optimal number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coins. We like 3 to 5 coins. You see, if you do 8 coins, he's doing 13. He's spreading his money out too thin to individual coins. If you were doing 10 coins, you'd be doing 10% per coin. You'd spread your money out like that. That means when it jumps, you're not making as much. If you were trading 3 coins, it would be 33% per coin, and one of them would be 34%. So you'd have a nice bucket of money for each trade. And when that coin jumps 3% or 5%, I've got mine set to 5%, it would, I take a nice bit of profit on each trade. The name of the game is getting more money into your account. Really, it's the more money you have, the more money you make. 100% of $1 million is $1 million. 100% of 1,000 is $1,000. The guy you're still getting the same number of trades approximately, because the numbers you're never getting exactly the same number of each trader, but they're always a little different. Because there's a lot of traders out there buying and selling, so you never get the same price and never get the same trade. But you're not getting more trades because you have more money, is what I'm saying. You're just putting more money into the trade. So the guy with $1 million doesn't have an advantage over a guy with 1,000 or 5,000. He doesn't have an advantage over anyone. He's just trading with more money. Now, I got rid of all the $1 million accounts in here because this was cluttering up the screen, and people were complaining that when I would do these presentations, they would think that they need $1 million to trade with. So I said, I'm going to take out all the big money out of here and out of the trader. I'm not out of this report. And I'm also going to get rid of anybody that does a manual trade. If they do a manual buy or a manual close, I take them. They don't even show up in here. So these are actual live traders, untouched. So you don't have to worry about any skewing or anything like that going on. Nothing going on like that. And you can just see how everybody does. We all, it's up to the market. Are we going to have a great year or not a great year? I think we're having a fantastic year anyways, and I don't know where you get returns like this. I don't know where you get 100%, be able to take advantage of a 100% move. I didn't prep for this guy to do that. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any research to say, oh, it's time for L3 to make a move. I didn't do anything like that. I just happened to be sitting in the coin. The auto trader preps you for whatever the market's going to do. And it lets the market, when the market makes its move, we take our money. It could be big moves, it could be small moves. We don't even care. You don't even care what direction the coin's going in. You don't care if it drops like a rock. It's like, go down there. I love, if you like Microsoft at $500 a share, you would have had to love it at $30 a share, right? So it doesn't matter where the prices go. The auto trader does it all, 100% automation.
Yep.
And the sooner
Awesome.
you get in, the sooner the game begins.
And the trader doesn't care where the price is either.
And you will walk this planet differently. And I'm telling you from experience, I've been retired for 25, well, since 95, since I left Microsoft. But since automating the market in 2001, I don't view the planet the same way anymore. I'm like very euphoric. I mean, whatever, anybody ever do drugs? All right, I don't want to say that. But you know what euphoric feels like, maybe. But
Well, I'll tell you, the
I'm not
simple,
on drugs. I'm on a natural, unbelievable euphoria, knowing
well,
that I conquered the market and I could just sit back and watch my auto trade. I don't view the market the same as the rest of the world. I don't. To me, it's just free money.
when you have erased the fear and anxiety of trying to figure out living day-to-day life, the go to school, get a job, trade time for money, and you put people in an opportunity, not put people, given people the opportunity with this trader to put them in a situation where they can never have to worry eventually, not out of the gate generally, but eventually you put them in a position where they never have to worry about having more month at the end of the money. I mean, let's face it. I mean, most people live paycheck to paycheck. We're very, very fortunate, the few that get to participate and have the opportunity to be exposed to knowledge that changes the trajectory if you employ it, right? Where else are you going to get this kind of knowledge or this kind of tool that allows you to rest easy over the fact that if properly employed, given enough time, you're in a situation where you're more at ease.
And
Amen
you
to
got to
that.
run from anybody on all those things on the internet that say, oh, we can double your money every month, that kind of stuff. That's all baloney. They can't do that. They're not in control of the market.
Mm-hmm.
That is gambling or lying outright. That's where you throw all your money into some system and then they do a rug pull and just steal it all. I didn't even
Yeah.
know what rug pull was. Somebody
Yeah.
described it to me
Well,
4 years
that
ago.
goes back to one of the principles we came out of the gate with when Attila was talking about, what are some of the magic pieces of this system is it's your account. You control 100% of it, right? We didn't talk about it. Maybe you said it, but it bears repeating that the trader has no authority other than to send buy and sell orders to your account. There's no money that rests in the trader. There's no one has access to it. We don't. Ed doesn't have access even if he wanted access.
No,
It's a unique API, a unique security key that connects the two, and all of your money is on the exchange of your choice. And when we talk about profits saved in the saved bucket, that's an illustration of the fact that all the money that drops in the save bucket, all that means is it's invisible to the trader as long as you tell it to shield that much money. It can be 100%, it could be 0%, it could be 50-50, it could be, 70-30, whatever the case may be, but all of the money is secured by you in your trading account, period.
right. You can paper trade over here when you're ready to go. By default, when you sign up, it automatically goes into paper trade mode. And then when you're ready to go live, you click over here to say use Coinbase. And it can see your Coinbase account and it can send orders to your Coinbase account, buy and sell. It cannot send you can't transfer money or anything like that. And it can, and you tell it which one to use, USD or USDC, and you just select the one, whichever one you want it to use. And so you dump all your money into your USDC in your Coinbase account, and the software knows it has that much money to work with. Then the software goes, it goes to the select currency screen, it puts in the symbols, and you tell it what percent, what to use. And you can see I unchecked the allow by. You guys might want to watch this for a second. Let me explain this. You have add to decliners, add while it's going down, right? But I unchecked add to advancers. And the reason I did that is you notice I only left add to advancer for the ones that I'm going to be buying and holding, where I'm telling it don't allow selling. So I'm adding when a coin is going down and allowing it to sell on the profits as it wiggles, but I unchecked the adding while it's going higher because I'm selling those off anyways. I'm selling, if it went down and I bought, then it goes higher and I sell it. So it doesn't matter. I'm selling off the winners. But in the ones where I'm a buy and holder, where I don't want to sell it, I'm just dollar cost averaging into it. I'm telling it, allow it to buy when it's going down, but also allow it to buy when it's going up. Because if a coin like Bitcoin, if you bought Bitcoin at 90 and then it goes up to 100, if you don't have add to advancer checked and it only adds to losers, the coin would only add when it's going below the 90. So if you're dollar cost averaging into it, then you have to say allow it to add to advancers too, because if the coin is going up, you want to buy more at higher prices. So you need that one checked. By default, it checks all of these.
So Ed, would you say what you just explained is why it is the optimum thing? If somebody's going to dollar cost average, do it with the trader because of what you just explained.
Oh, yeah, you can't do it yourself manually. You're doing it all wrong.
No way.
You're doing it all wrong. All these people that are saying every month I put money into these coins.
Yeah.
You're putting them all in at the wrong prices. You're all over the place. And then you're all in up here at the top. And I get a lot of complaints, and I shouldn't call it complaints, but concerns or whatever. When people sign up, they say, how come my auto trader didn't put all my money in right away? I want to use all my money. Yeah, and if you would have done that, you'd be all in up here. When the market drops 50%, your account would be cut in half in value. With us, a lot of times the market drops 50% and you're not even negative, you're positive because of all the profits you were taking, because you're able to trade at the lower prices. You're able to trade forever. This is a forever trader. For the rest of your life, nobody can stop you from grinding money out forever. Nobody cancels. Let me say this about these traders for years. People, once you got an auto trader, you use it till you die. And I've actually had some folks, I'm sorry to say, have actually passed away over the years. They were using it. They were pretty old and they passed away, and they were old. And I remember one woman called, I was talking to one woman and she said, oh, her husband he had 4 auto traders. And he loved it. He loved getting up every morning to watch those traders, So, once you have it, it's a great hobby. Making money automatically is a great hobby.
But guess what? When you die, it doesn't stop trading.
Yeah, right. His account didn't expire. His wife just took it over.
Yeah,
he was still using it. And then the rules, you're setting the rules. It's only one page. Edit strategy, one little page. It's so easy. And the defaults are already there when you get your auto trader.
Yeah, and what's our message? What's our message, Ed?
Don't touch the settings.
Don't touch.
Yeah. Don't touch the settings. I mean, you've optimized in reality, this is your baby. Somebody asked, why do you have multiple accounts? Why do you tweak your strategies? It's because you're in the mindset, and you have been since you created this, to continually improve the system.
I'm always playing around, changing things.
Let Ed tweak all he wants, but anybody that's out there, You'll see folks that have tried it on their own, manipulated the setting, changed the settings. The moral of the story is buy it, let it go. Don't swap coins out, pick quality coins to begin with, let it go.
And we got this beautiful health meter here. This is something I created a few months ago, this health meter. If you in your auto trader, if you had errors in your auto trader, the health meter would pop up at the top. There it is, up there. But it's green, so there are no errors.
It's green, it's yellow.
I'm colorblind, man.
All right, it's purple.
And yellow, unless you put them next to each other. All right, I do have a couple warnings, though. See this? A couple warnings, which means it's okay. But it's just telling you, just in case you don't know, you forgot. Trader is not set to save profits, all right? I was saving profits. The default is to save profits, okay? But I've got so much money, I just quit saving profits last week. I always used to have at least 100,000 in my save bucket, but I just added those new symbols. I wanted to use those profits to buy the symbols. The next one is manual trading at exchange overriding built-in money management features. Okay, so I got excited when the market was moving so much, and I did a couple manual trades, and that gave me a warning. It's saying, that's frowned upon. So, and then all the rest of them are all green, no errors on all the other things that it checks. But it's always, I'm always adding new things to the trader, improving things, making it better for everyone.
Yeah, for superheroes, it's okay to tweak the settings. For us mere mortals, leave it alone.
But you don't even have to download any software or anything. When I make those changes, they automatically go into the traders because the traders are running on our servers over here. And you can see what it's doing here. Look, it added to advancing position. It added while the coin was going higher. This one here says added to gap, so it added to a gap between the low and the high. It found an open spot that wasn't owned. We don't want big no man's land in there like that, a big gap between your buys, because a price could go in there and then start moving around and you're not making any money. So we add to the gap to fill that gap. I call it filling the gap and trapping the market more, making it where that coin can't move. The name of the game is trap the coin so it can never move without giving you money. And then if I go a little further, you'll see added to decliners. And then this one here says take this amount if reached, that $457. And the reason that take this amount if reached, see this stuff's all built in already, is a coin might gap up right away. And then normally if a coin goes higher, we'll wait for the AI to decide, well, should we stay in it or not and all that. And some other things. But if it gaps up like that, and we see that much money, and we say, you know what, that thing's just going to come straight down. It might only go up there for 1 minute, man. And the auto trader says, take this amount if reached. So we told the auto trader, if you're up this much, just take it. Don't even wait for AI. Don't wait for anything else. Just take that money. And then what does it do? It comes right back down after we sell it. I'm like, woo, got in there just in time. So, there's multiple ways you can see for it to take money. And it's all built in. You don't have to do anything. Once you sign up, you're just on your way.
Look who's returned.
I'm back for Q&A.
So who declared a Q&A? I still have a whole bottle of water here.
Oh, nice. I mean,
she asked us to give her fair warning in advance, so that she can hop back and forth in and out of her busy schedule to rejoin us. But,
oh yeah, right.
Yep.
I hear you. I'm taking off my jacket here. I love the Q&A.
Well, we're not in it yet. We'll get Attila back. And no, that's right. Just stretch. Don't pull a muscle. Just up. There he is. Get limber up. Right. There you go. Right.
Stretch.
Very good. So, Attila, do you want to start us off? I saw I haven't seen it in the Q&A. I've not looked at that yet, but we've had multiple people asking about payment options. So I know we've talked about that in the past, and I don't know what the I don't know whether there is consideration for other right now. You can buy it with crypto. You can buy it with a credit card. Um,
Debit
That
or
was
but
in the
credit.
chat. That
We
was in
don't,
the
the reason we don't do short-term, like monthly subscriptions and all is because when you have thousands of clients, you have a lot of credit cards expiring every month.
true.
And just going crazy and you're in the money game, oh, hey, your credit card expired, you got to get a new one and all that stuff. And
Yep.
it's so much better for us. It's so much better for everyone else. Really, we've resolved this many years ago. I've been doing this 25 years. The clients, everybody really likes it better. You pay one time, you own the software for 3 years. Done. And then
Yep.
sometimes we do crazy specials. Some people, are already paid out 9 years, from some specials we did early on, where they extended,
that was many
9
moons
years
ago.
out.
Yep.
Yeah.
But to further address it, Natalie, and I apologize, I couldn't find the other person in the chat that
Anna,
asked this week.
Anna.
Anna, sorry, thank you. We've in the background we've talked about possibilities of having you in a position where you're leveraging, where still that buy now pay later options that are being considered. Um,
Stay
we
tuned.
we yeah, stay tuned. Very good segue. Stay tuned. But as Natalie suggested, uh, helping more people faster. I mean, that's another option. But as Attila said, stay tuned.
Well, you
All right.
also need to
So
have a lot of more servers
yeah, true, true,
All right, so
true.
Michael is asking, Michael Mensa, he owns the trader. Just noticed my Pepe bought $280 plus worth for $14 profit instead of buying $14 for 1.8. What changed? I don't know what he.
Oh, oh no, no, I get it. I get it. So the idea being is what changed. Obviously, the AI kicked in, and Michael, type in the chat if this is an accurate assumption. If you're saying Pepe bought $280 worth for a 14 profit, chances
Sold,
are that
sold.
You
it
mean
right.
sold.
Well, right, or maybe saying bought 280, but when it sold it made 14% profit instead of 1.8, what a dollar 80 profit. In all likelihood, you're going to see in that settled trade in the bottom screen, your filled orders is that if that sale has an AI after it, that means the AI took advantage of it, said don't sell it, and it sold it. It let it go until the AI was 95% sure that it wasn't going to continue to go higher. So if you would type that into the as clarification into the chat, but in all probability, that's what happened. That's the real live machine working and taking advantage of the market and not selling right at the 3 or 5% goal or whatever goal you have it set. It will run through that profit goal until the AI says either buy more or sell more. I mean, sell higher.
But
Right.
another thing that's important to recognize is it doesn't matter how much money you're making per trade because that's up to the market. You don't know that it's going to do stuff. So ahead of
Right.
time, if you know ahead of time that it's going to run, then you would hold your shares until if I know a coin is going to run tomorrow, then I would hold it. But nobody really know. You don't know that. All you really care about is how much you're going to keep taking in the long run. It's going to add up and just keep taking money forever. It will add
Yep.
up forever.
Okay, well done. So I'm not sure if this is Ricky or Richie Z, but they are asking, when you get to Q&A, can you explain why you would want to run multiple traders? Is there a strategy for doing that?
The mad scientist strategy.
Well, we saw in the top traders, someone was just trading Bitcoin in one of his traders on 1% moves, and he doubled his money doing that. So, so that would be one separate trader. Um, that you would, and then your other trader with all your other coins might be going for 3% or 5% moves. The other thing is sometimes you have multiple portfolios in your Coinbase account, and you can do that, but you would need an auto trader for each portfolio, and you're separating money, husband, wife, 2 kids, you got 4 auto traders running inside your one Coinbase account. So there's that.
It's logical.
So there's
Okay.
multiple reasons, Some people also trade stocks, so you would need a stock account, a stock trader, and a Coinbase trader. So
And
that
then
would be
there's
a separate trader.
some people that want to trade 3 to 5 coins the regular way, and all they want to do with the other trader is dollar cost average. You've seen
You
that,
trade
right?
one coin.
Right.
Oh, this one I was going to show. I don't know if Crypto Casey was here when I showed this.
I don't think so, but this
All
is
right.
interesting.
All right. So you have the add to advancers, right? If I'm closing a position, if I'm opening on decliners and I'm also going to close it if it goes up, then I don't need add to advancer checked. But if I'm dollar cost averaging, anytime I say I disable allow selling, then I have to add to advancers. Because if you bought Bitcoin at 90,000 and it goes up, you have to be able to add to advancer or you won't be buying anymore, because if you only have add to decliner, it would have to go below 90. So if you're going to add on as Bitcoin goes higher, then you have to have add to advancers checked. I'm
That
sure
must be
you
new because I had that problem whenever I was just buying Bitcoin. So how new is this?
Well, I added this after you started talking about dollar cost averaging.
Yeah, because
It's
I
your
did run
fault,
into the problem
Casey.
where if Bitcoin wasn't going lower, then it wasn't buying more.
Then it wasn't buying, right?
Yeah.
Because it went up to 120 and then people weren't buying because it would have to go below where they went in at 89,000. And so I said, well, all right, we'll add to advancer. We'll let them turn on add to advancer, and so that it can add when the price is going higher. But if you're closing positions profitably, like 3% or 5% moves up, you don't really need to add to advancers because you're closing all the positions down at the bottom anyways.
Are you being attacked by a raccoon?
Yeah,
There
that's
it
Tiger
is.
Kitty. There is. She's saying hello.
We missed her last week.
Does
All right, Ed.
does she have her own trader?
You know what? She should probably.
So
I
the
mean, if these
default,
AI bots can have traders, maybe Cat should too.
That's right.
All right.
no, the default when you get your trader, everybody, the default is add to advancers are automatically checked. It's not going to hurt you at all having them checked because you're just going to, if you add to an advancer and it goes up, as soon as it goes a little higher, you're going to sell it off. So it's not going to hurt to have them both checked.
Yeah, thanks, Casey, for asking those questions that made him add enhancements to the system.
No, I think the
Yeah.
one thing we haven't really done that would be very interesting is instead of like, all the profits saved, they just sit there. If you could
Right.
have an option to buy, like use all the profits saved to buy Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying?
That whole system out after we had that discussion, and it's on my to-do list. And I was actually getting ready to do it, and then my load balancer crashed. Remember? The thing
Casey.
that balances the servers, and I'm like, now I gotta write all this code.
Casey,
So
are
I've
you
been
talking?
working on that code. But yeah, after you said that, I spec'd the whole thing out how to do it. Yeah, it'll be great.
Nice.
Are you
Yeah,
talking about Casey taking the profits to buy Bitcoin or to
Yeah.
buy it and dollar cost average it?
For me, I think it'd be best to all the profits saved if I wanted to pick a percentage, if not all of it, to DCA into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Because I
And
mean, all the money that is saved, yeah, sure, if you need to use it for something, but at the end of the day, the money that I would make from crypto or even trading, I always just kind of put it into Bitcoin unless I need to do something else.
Right.
But that would be awesome if the profit saved, I don't have to actively, put it back in
Right.
and just allow buy Bitcoin. You know, if it was
Yeah.
just separate and all it was doing was just
Right.
Yeah,
TTO.
you're looking at Bitcoin as a store of value versus just leaving it in even USDC.
Yeah, so right now, whenever the profits are saved, I have to actively go and do something with it, either put it back
Right.
into the trader or, you know, do it myself. But if we could
Right.
automatically do that, that would be cool.
Okay, Ed, the
Yeah.
gauntlet
And
has been
then
thrown down.
the gauntlet has been thrown.
All right.
Yeah,
So
and it's, also when you release funds, if you manually just release your profits right now, it would just get distributed to all the coins, whereas there's options that are going to be on there. So automatically the funds will get released to individual coins based on what you set it at. Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
all right.
Very cool.
It's on
So
my to-do list. As long as
Mr.
I owe you, you'll never be broke.
Don is asking, could Mr. Barsano please explain? I think we covered this, but just in case, take this dollar amount if reached versus profit goal reached. If take this money amount is if reached message is displayed a lot, should any settings be changed?
Then raise it. If you keep getting that message too much, then you're like I only got it one time here, right? But I mean, if a lot of my trades are making that much money and then I'm cutting off my profits too much.
Right. We
And
talked about this before. That particular setting, even though we tell you, don't change the settings, there's no downside to raising that dollar
yeah,
reach.
this
If you
one
Right.
see it,
here.
if you see it too often.
Right.
Yeah, if you're seeing it too much, then it's cutting your profits. It's okay to I mean, the coin's not going to go up 150% every day. I
Right.
mean, so if it breaks that profit, just take the money right away. And you can see the value of that. Some of these coins, like this L3 here, that's straight up line there. You got to just grab that money because look at it, it's at a point up there and then comes down straight down. If you don't get it right away, you're gonna lose it. So there's only
Yep.
so many buyers out there or sellers, buyers even. When it pops like that, you want to just grab the money. All these points. It's what I always say. The stock market, the prices move like this. The crypto market, they jump up and down.
Right.
Do you
Yeah.
want to take advantage? If it jumps up too high, you want to take the profits. So
Right.
if you're getting it a lot, you can raise this. It starts out by default, I think, at $100 for everyone.
Yeah, just to your right.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's showing. Thank you. That's why I put this default settings here so you can see what they originally started at. So you can see I raised it because I was hitting it too much at 100 and then 200 and then 300. In my big auto trader that has over 1 million in it, I've got it set to $10,000 because it's just hitting it all the time because there's just so much money in there. And that's basically because of the large volume, the share sizes. And that
Right.
comes to, or the trade sizes. And that comes to and answer another question that's not answered, that's not asked yet is how come I set the limit in the trader to 2 million max? And it's because when you start going above that, you're starting to buy in volume too big. And if you look at the amount of shares, if I go back to the level 2 screen, if we look at the amount, the size, like this market size, they're just not big enough to cover like $2 million orders. You're going to end up, if I want to buy, I'm not going to buy at this price down here. Even now, you wouldn't probably buy it. And look, that's 137 shares or 16 shares. That's bogus, that number down there. You're not going to ever get filled at that price because that's just going to disappear in 2 seconds. Somebody else is going to grab it. You want to buy 10,000 shares, you're going to have to go up this high right here. You see, if I add these up, this is where you'd be able to fill that 10,000 shares, the third lot from the bottom here. As opposed to a guy with if I did a $2 million order, I'd be buying many more shares than what you're seeing on this screen, and the price I'd be paying would be way off the screen. I don't want to affect the market with my trades where I'm starting to move the market. I don't want to be the market maker. I want the market makers to be the market makers. I just want to take advantage of what they're doing. So
True.
that's why
Yeah. I mean,
we
the other answer, that's actually a different answer than you normally give. The other answer
the
is
other
that
one is I didn't create this for the big guy. I created it for
Right.
regular people, right?
right, right. But
Right.
both are super valid.
Well,
So,
sometimes people want more of an explanation.
right. No. That's great. That's great. So Paul asks, will it still add to the gap if you uncheck the add to advancers?
No.
No,
No. No,
but
that
you don't
eliminates
need
that.
to, because if the price actually goes up there, you're going to sell that. You're not going to have it. There are no gaps when you're adding
Right.
to when the price if the price is going up and you're selling. It's when you're not selling that you create the gaps. It's this scenario here, like this, what I did here with H bar. I'm accumulating H bar. And so that means I'm not selling when it's going higher. So I bought it down here and the price went up here and I'm not selling it. And I'm buying more. So now I've created that gap. As opposed to if I'm selling it, the ones where I have it checked to allow selling, when the price, if I bought it down here and it goes up here, I'm selling the one I bought down here. So there are
Yep.
no gaps.
All right. Paul goes on to
Oh,
ask, does add to gaps, add to advancing trade lots count towards the daily down trades if there are lots above either of those purchases? Let me take a swing at this.
Where's the daily trades he's talking about?
Um, so does it, I'm going to interpret, Paul, shoot me down if I'm wrong, put it in the chat. What I believe he's talking about is does it affect any of the other lots? And if that's the correct assumption, the answer is each individual position or lot that it takes is not influenced necessarily by any of the other ones
Right, it's not.
unless it's trying to buy at the same price and add more lots to a previous purchase, right? The whole idea of filling the gaps or adding to advancers and decliners, and tell me if I've got this wrong, Ed, is to make sure that the market stays cornered, right? You've got
Right.
if you have lots that fill in every 3% increments, and you have a well-seasoned trader, it means the market cannot move up or down 3% without buying more or giving you more money. Is that fair?
Right. So if a
Okay.
coin drops 10% overnight and you have this big gap in here, and then the price goes back up into that gap, you're in no man's land. You don't have anything to buy and you don't have anything to sell if you're not selling. But so
yeah, but Ed,
we wanna fill the gap.
let me ask you a question. The point of confusion, I've had a few people email me, and their point of confusion on that is, let's say you have your trader set for 3 on the decline, 3 on the advancers, and you do have it set up, you have all 3 boxes checked. They say if it goes down 3%, it's going to buy more for me, but now it goes up 3%. Why would it buy the gap instead of taking the profit there?
Well, that's because you know it would because you have allow sell checked. See,
Okay,
allow sell, it would sell it. However, in my case, look what I'm doing. I'm taking 5% profits,
right.
but I'm adding on 3% drops. So
Ah,
that means if I'm adding on a 3% drop, and then say it goes up 3% and I add again, I'm still not selling. Because
right.
that
So,
one that I bought at 3%, the one I bought down here that went up 3%, I'm going to buy more if I'm adding to advancers, but I'm not going to sell that bottom one until it's up 5%. So it's got to go up 2% more to sell the bottom one.
Mhm.
gotcha.
So I'm
Yeah,
kind
Paul.
of scotching around.
So
Yeah.
it
I'm
works
jumping
best.
around. In
It
that
works.
case, I'm missing out on that that one thing there that I just described if I don't check add to advancer. This one.
So it works optimally if you have
So if you're changing these numbers, then you want to check them both. If you're doing 5%, if you're doing 5% on your profit goal and 3% down here, I should have them both checked.
All three, actually.
Yeah.
All
well,
three.
yeah, all three for sure.
Right. Right. Okay. Now that makes sense. That makes sense.
Paul goes on to clarify down daily, and I think he's now clarifying, does it on the settings page, does it affect the max lots open in a day?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you buy it twice and you don't sell anything, it's gonna stop buying more because it's set to don't buy more than two. So yes, anytime you buy and don't sell, you're adding to that number. It can buy and sell 20 times in a day if you're selling, but if you're just buying, it stops. Yes, even on the advancer, it'll stop.
Right. And we've got one more question, but Casey, let me ask you this. Since we get you live, and I know you have to go again, but thank you for coming back into the Q&A. May be related to the trader, may not be related to the trader. How would you feel about taking maybe 3 or 4 questions from the audience just to scratch into the brain of Crypto Casey? Cool. All right, and then we'll come back. Paul, you're welcome. And then Glenn has got a question that we'll answer at the end.
Why don't we do, since Crypto Casey's up against the clock, why don't we do her 2 or 3 questions from the audience first and then finish up with Glenn?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I
just wasn't clear. So we're going to ask you, this is a rarity. We normally never turn it on live. But one, I'm going to warn you, keep it clean, keep it family friendly, keep it useful, ask questions that would be helpful to you and the audience. And then we'll take, depending on how long it takes, 3 to maybe 5 until Casey says that she needs to go. And this is a rarity. So if you would like to ask Casey a question about her knowledge inside or outside the trader, raise your hand.
Yep. And on the menu for the Zoom, there is a hand and it says raise hand.
Yep.
In case you're wondering.
And then we'll let you go live and you can ask your question. Remember, I led off with this is really rare. When do you get to talk directly to Crypto Casey? She barely talks to us. Ask her questions now. All right. Well, if you don't want to take advantage of it,
I think you're muted. Casey, you might be muted.
Oh, that's why. Here we go. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Well, everybody seems to be shy. We got quite a number of folks on here, but all right. Well, while everybody's getting out of their own way and putting their shyness behind, you only got her for a certain amount of time. I mean, I said it's rare.
I was thinking about starting live streams on my YouTube though.
Oh,
well,
Streams is so fast and getting the videos edited sometimes,
yeah,
old.
Yep. True. So, all right. Well, while we're waiting for somebody to raise their hand, let's get to Glenn's questions. What is the recommended minimum investment to start? Well, I'm going to skip around a little bit, but I'm going to show you a slide which we normally end with. So, I'm going to give you examples. Bear with me because I lost you. All right. Pardon me?
We're not financial advisors. We can't
we're not.
What to start with.
Right.
Okay. But you start with whatever you're comfortable starting with. Yep. You could always add more money to the trader. You just add money to your Coinbase or Kraken account. The trader picks up that you've added funds. You don't even need to touch the trader.
Yep.
Can I say, the minimum amount is 0. All right. And there's a reason for that. Because even if you just watch the paper trade, it'll change your life. It'll, just watching it do what it does.
Well, yes, you're right. It will.
World. But I have a lot of people with $500 accounts they start with, and then they add $100 a month.
Yep.
And then so in a year they've contributed 1,700 to their trader. And
Yep.
I have young people that started with $500, and now they're in a few years they're already into the thousands.
Yeah. What do you call it? The ultimate savings account, right?
There's no real minimum. It's just
No.
get started and let the game begin,
Yeah.
and it'll change your life forever.
It will. It will. So I told you when we came out of the gate, we would speak to you in fact. This looks like an outlandish example, but it's based on the fact of what Mr. Barsano's his personal traders, particularly the first one, has done in December 19th will be 4 years. In 4 years, his original trader, and it's not my business as to what his other traders have done. But in 4 years, he's 5x'd his money in a 90% down market. So when you add it, when you do the math, it comes out to more than this example. But just as round number examples, and then we'll get a little bit less crazy and a little bit more conservative. But again, this is based on what's already happened. If it were to repeat itself in a, might I say, a bull market, the example was 90% down market, still made 5x on your money without stress, without you having to manage anything, just simply cash flowing the assets that you already have. So 3 years, at the end of the 3 years, at the beginning of the 3 years, you've invested based on Crypto Casey's discount, $3,499, $3,500. You started with $5,000. At the end of the 3 years, if it did what it's done in the past, you would have $40,000. Is there a chance? So here, I forgot this part, after the equal sign, if you did not employ this, deploy it to employ your money, everything after the equal sign is lost opportunity, means you didn't take advantage of it. But $8,499 gives you a net, because I took your $5,000 back, set aside your original investment. The cost of the software, lost opportunities, $31,500. If that's the case, that you can turn $5,000, or in this case, $8,300, into $31,000 net profit after getting those two variables back, is there a chance that you're going to renew the license? If you say no, then we're going to have to send people.
Everybody renews. They always.
Right. Well, if you say no to that, then we're gonna have to send people to get your children and take them to safety, right?
Okay.
So you would renew your license. So let's repeat it again. After the next 3 years, if it did, same thing, $320,000 on 5,000. Take the $5,000 out, and you really don't even need to take the $5,000 because I already took it out here. But double your license, because you renewed your license. Your opportunity lost is $308,000. Well, now look what the power of compounding does. At the end of 9 years, by the way, 9 years is going to pass whether you do this or not. So why not put the knowledge to work to make your financial life easier? The end of the 9 years, and that's not that long. 2.5 million. If you're following along and assuming that it repeats itself, it could be less, it could be more. Take your $5,000 back. You've now bought another license. All of those those variables have been taken out. Your net is 2.5 million. Now there's a $2 million limit, but guess what? If you were conservative and you had $200,000, I don't know what you do with the rest of it other than buy your estate or buy everybody that you know in your family a quality leave behind. Don't leave them furniture in a house. Get them a fully funded auto trader, right? But if you had $2,000 that was making you 5% a month, you've got a pretty good residual income, a lot better than if you were relying on Social Security, which will be social insecurity by the time you get there, right? So if you believe, let's just say that's absurd. Look at this one.
So you
Opportunity
lowered it.
lost.
What did you do? You lowered the return to 50% a year?
50%. It's never operated at 50%. I just showed you my example, and in 2B 8 months, it's running at a pace of north of 90%. Not just 90%. Here's the magic words. Cash flow, which means you can put money in there. How much cash flow are you making out of your 401k? Let me answer that for you. Zero. If you treated this as a 401k, that was cash flowing. And let's say you were making 13, 15, 18%, which if you said that to somebody in traditional finance, they would think that was outlandish. If you said that you could get 30 to 50 to 100% of your money, they're saying you're going to be scammed because that's what that system teaches you to do. Now you've been enlightened. Even if it operated at 50%, all by itself, your net is 8,000, 44,000, 176,000. If you just had the 176,000 in your account that was spitting out 3 to 5% a month, you do the numbers. The maths. So, as I said before, $3.19 a day, which is probably about a third of a cup of Starbucks latte, mocha, something or another with oat milk in it, right? Or boil it down to what we talked about before, 13.27 cents per day to have somebody, not have somebody, something just cash flow your money. I mean,
Well,
people ask me why I get so excited about it. I mean, because it just works.
Well,
well, let me
if
just
you're excited, you're only looking at your own auto trader. I have the advantage of seeing all the auto traders, and I talk to so many people every day, and I
Right.
can tell you, people are dumping. They're going crazy trying to find money to throw into their auto trader to find more. They're selling their rental properties. They're mortgaging their houses. I even, I put the video on the website, and you can go to the videos. I put
Don't
in
mortgage your house.
things not to do, and I try
yep.
to tell people don't mortgage your house because that's true. People were giving me the play-by-play on the phone. Well, my loan's almost through, and I'm like, dear Lord, stop. You paid off your house and now you're getting a mortgage. Don't do that. I
Yeah.
don't like it. I don't like to borrow from credit cards. I get it, if you're all into the money thing, I know. And so maybe I can't totally relate to where you're at, because I've been retired so long,
Well,
and
it's
I've been
you
running
take
these
a
auto traders for so long.
yeah, you take a very
Edward,
conservative approach, which is always
But
good.
I'd
But
rather just be conservative because the auto trader is going to make it anyways. Just relax. I don't mind the people saying they're selling their rental properties or they're selling their businesses and taking the money and throwing it into their trader because you're never going to have an opportunity like this. This is it for our generation. This is it. I don't even see anything else out there where you could be getting returns like we're going to be getting
that's for
in this
sure.
crypto
That's for
market.
sure.
The
Okay,
what?
crypto
we
market
do have
is
a
taking
we
off.
we
Yep.
do
Let
have
me finish Glenn's question because I only got part one of four. Sorry to interrupt you, Attila. So he says, how does this perform in a bear market? Talked about it a
It's been nothing
multitude of
but a bear
times,
market for four
right?
years.
90% down, 5x your money. That's a pretty good performance metric, right?
In
What if
what
the
way? But it's interesting though. His question that indicates that somehow he has seen a bull market somewhere here. I haven't seen a bull market in the crypto space at all. I saw a L3 go up 150% in one day a couple of days ago, but that's not a bull market. We're still in a bear market. These coins are dropping like a rock. They're
right?
sitting, I mean, a 12-cent coin goes to a penny. I call that a bear market.
Right.
So that's one of the things that concerns me is some people see a week where the market's going up because I know I get the emails, Ed, how do I get my auto trader to use more of my money? I wanna be all in. And I'm like, what you're saying is you want to be a buy and holder. You just want to go all in and pray that goes up. When a person manually trades, when they go to hit a buy button, in their mind, the coin's going to go up. Think about it, everybody out there. When you manually buy a coin, in your mind, you're thinking that's going to go up. The auto trader will definitely take advantage of that, But the auto trader's saying, nah, that coin's going to drop 75% down, straight down. The auto trader is planning for the worst. And it's saying, I'm going to turn the worst into something really great. I'm going to buy and sell on the way while it's going down that 75%. The auto trader is expecting the market to crash. It's looking for it, actually is just hungry for that market to crash. Once you have an auto trader for a while, you start looking forward to the down days. I laugh when the market crashes. Somebody called me a few weeks. What was it on? Was it October 10th?
October 10th.
Yeah.
The flash crash.
When the coins dropped 30%, I was laughing so hard. I was just dying laughing. And then I got a phone call from one of the clients, and he said, and as soon as and he didn't hear me, but he said, I know you're just laughing right now. I can just hear you. And he was right. I was cracking up. Well, because man, and that's why you saw the error message on the screen or the warning that said we frown on manual trading. It's like, I don't care. I'm buying. I gotta buy 5,000 more of this coin.
Well, here's the cold hard truth. If you own the trader on that day, we've had dozens of people tell us they made money. How is it possible they were making money in a flash crash? So another testimonial. Part 3 of 4.
Well, let's explain how it worked. It dropped 30%. The auto trader bought more 30% lower, and then the coin went up 20%. So what we bought down here, we just sold 20% higher. And then the next day it went up 5% more, and the next day it went up 5% more. So we were back to where it was before the flash crash, and everything we did down below was just free money.
Right. Beautiful thing. That's a beautiful
Part 3 of 4.
I used to hear this a lot, like a lot of times in the stock market. The market would open up. Remember, the Dow would open up 500 points lower, and then it would recover it would open up 1,000 points lower, and then it would recover 500 points down, 500 points on the same day. And all you heard on TV all day long is Dow's down 500, Dow's down 500, and the whole day I'm going, the Dow is up 500 because it opened up 1,000 points lower and it recovered 500. We're up 500. I see nothing but positive, and all over TV they're just trying to scare the public, telling them the Dow's down 500. Get out, get out.
All right, to finish Glenn's questions.
Yes.
What if the coin goes to 0?
Well, then it's out of business. Yeah, you picked the wrong coin. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's a stock market. You know the answer. You knew the answer to that before you asked it.
Crypto market.
So easier fourth question.
But how much money did you make before it went to 0?
True. Right. True. If it traded long enough, you don't care if it went out of business or not because you're in net profit. So
I took 350,000 of profits on ACH while it was going down, and I'm only down 150 on my open inventory. So even if it went out of business, I'm still way ahead.
Right. We're all big boys and girls here. Don't pick crappy coins with wishy-washy market caps under $2 million.
I use the highest trade count report.
Yeah,
there's the easy answer. The $1 billion report.
So simple.
Right. All right. Why does it not work with Binance?
Because
it used to work with Binance. I automated Binance, and then the owner of Binance went to jail, and then they quit taking U.S. dollars, so I unplugged them. And then earlier this year they started taking the U.S. dollar again, and I just haven't had a chance to go in there and replug them in. But it really doesn't matter where it's trading, in my opinion, because it's going to be the same. It's just going to trade.
So Bruce Almighty wants to ask Crypto Casey a question. So Bruce, I'm going to unmute you. I saw that you put it in the chat as well. This is actually a great cutting edge question. Bruce, are you ready?
Or you mean Casey? Am I ready for Bruce?
No. I know you're ready. Bruce, you're on live radio.
Hey, Bruce Almighty here. I guess with a name like that, I could do anything, but
I just watched Liar Liar last night. So
all right.
Perfect timing.
It's funny. Yeah. He's a funny guy. But I thought, well, if you've got BTC and it's locked in, you don't want to sell. Maybe get a low LTV loan against the BTC and put it into the trader. I guess number-wise, it's still going to work as long as you do a low LTV loan. What do you think of that strategy?
I mean, if you have enough Bitcoin, I mean, eventually, and people are already doing it now. If you have enough Bitcoin, real estate, if you want to lean against a little bit, and hey, what's the worst case scenario? You get liquidated, but you
Yeah.
still have the trader. I mean, if you only had $3,500 of Bitcoin, no. Well, obviously, yeah, there would be a percentage. That's something that's very personal to you and your unique financial situation and what's going on. But I mean, if you have a lot of Bitcoin that you're not touching and you just want to lean against it and then pay it off later with the profits, I don't see any problem with that. Because a lot of people take out loans and they'll buy a watch or they'll buy a car or buy some depreciating asset. I think that using that as an investment is what wealthy people have done with real estate. They would lean against real estate that they own and then continue to, just capitalize. Debt can be very powerful if you know how it works and you can manage it. But like I said, I don't know your unique financial situation. If somebody told me that they wanted to get a loan to invest in something that will make them money, I'm always a yes versus other stuff,
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Bruce,
why not?
I'm sorry, Casey, continue.
Oh, I'd say why not? Also, a lot of I've seen the Bitcoin loans, they don't even do like a credit check or anything. It's all about the
Nope.
collateral. So it's not very risky. Like I said, the risk is that the Bitcoin gets liquidated, but it's not like you're getting something against your credit or that would be bad.
Yeah, a negative.
Yeah. Bruce, my comment is that if you read enough about the billionaire mentality and the way that they use debt, right? Normal debt is bad if you're taking on debt to buy liabilities, but if you're leveraging the debt to buy assets, I mean, let's take a scenario that I think could actually play out, right? Bitcoin's $100,000. You take a $50,000 loan. Bitcoin goes to 200,000. Where do you stand?
Ahead.
You've leveraged your assets against, and certainly a comfortable percentage against, right, to avoid the idea of getting liquidated or losing the asset in which you borrowed against. But what your mentality in asking that question and the response is you're already thinking like a billionaire, because debt is good if you know how to use it.
He's thinking like a billionaire because he's Bruce Almighty.
That's it.
Well, yeah, that part too. So,
My
Bruce,
caveat would be don't use it to buy a certain cryptocurrency to see if it goes up, because that's gambling. But
Yes,
buying
that is gambling.
a tool that is
but
generating
his question,
income.
his question actually in the Q&A was, excuse me, low LTV loan against BTC to put cash into the trader.
Yeah,
I give that a thumbs up.
Yeah. I don't think Coinbase allows you to take money out to put it back into their platform, and you're not supposed to put it. Well, it depends on where you get the loan, but I think Coinbase doesn't. You're not supposed to put it back into trading. But there's a lot of technicalities that I'm not really sure about, like specifics as far as putting into the trader, because you're not. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about.
Well, but if you took in the example, you took Coinbase, if you held BTC in Coinbase, you took it out, put it somewhere else into a leveraged loan, right? And wherever you get the cash and put it back into the trader, they're not going to correlate you taking Bitcoin out to borrow against to put it back in USDC or into the trader.
Yeah, that's what I was intending. Yeah, you would get it from a separate source and put it back.
Smart.
In. Yeah.
Great
now,
question.
The only downside, to this whole thing that I can see is, and it maybe, people have different viewpoints of it, is, and yet you're risking your funds in these exchanges, and of course they've held up really well over the years, and that's great, but it's kind of not eggs in one basket, but in terms of the auto trader. So, but
Well, I'll say one thing. So I thought your question was to use it to buy the auto trader. But
no, use it in the auto
agree with
trader.
what I said. Yeah, no, I get it. The thing about the risk associated with keeping the money on exchange with Coinbase, at this point, if Coinbase had a problem, there are a lot of other problems.
Yeah.
But also, if you have the Coinbase One, I believe that there's an FDIC component to, I think, USDC, which is used to trade. I'll have to double check that, but I think The other cryptos, I don't think they're insured at all. But if
Mhm.
everything you have within the trader, I think that's up to like 250 or something with Coinbase
Mhm.
Wallet.
Yeah,
Well,
Bruce.
with FDIC, I think that's kind of a joke because I
Oh,
heard
for sure.
I don't know if it's true, but they can legally take 20 years to pay you back. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know if that's true, but anyway.
Yeah, Bruce,
It
there's a
is.
lot
Well,
of
It
the
is
thing with
true.
investing is that wherever you put your money, it is at risk, and that's why you're getting
Yeah.
money back. So it's
Yeah.
like, hey, do you want it? Even if you're self-custody, there's risks involved with that. There, I mean, yeah, that's why it's good to be diversified. Have some stuff in your wallet, have some
That's
stuff,
it.
maybe in the stocks, have some stuff in Coinbase, Kraken. Like that's
Yeah.
another reason. Like maybe you have two traders, one with Kraken, one with Coinbase, because then
Mhm.
you are de-risking with having different exchanges.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
I agree. Diversification is key.
It's all
Also,
about what
Yeah,
you're comfortable, what risk you're comfortable with, and how secure. I mean, whatever you can sleep at night with, and still,
yeah.
make your money work for you. And everybody's personality is different. Everybody has different people relying on them. Maybe nobody relying on them. I have to feed my
Mhm.
cats. Like I don't have like 10 kids or anything, so everybody's different.
Yeah. Good advice. Yeah. By the way, was there some talk months ago about the auto trader being hooked up with Uphold or not? I don't.
Ooh, they said no.
Oh, they said
yeah.
no, really?
I applied and they didn't. They rejected. I don't know why.
Oh,
And then I haven't had a chance to go back. I mean, I could go back. I mean, I could
yeah,
get it
yeah.
if I really feel the need.
Right. Yeah.
But the urgency. But I just don't feel the urgency because I feel like the auto trader is going to trade the same. I don't
Mhm.
care what the platforms look like at these exchanges. I don't use their platform.
I'll
The
tell you
auto
this,
trader
when
do it
working
all.
with when I'll tell you this, when working with Uphold versus Coinbase versus other things, Uphold is they want to make everything really regulatory compliant. Like they want to review every single word that I say about them. Coinbase,
Mhm.
like they'll just kind of you can say whatever you want. Uphold, I think they're just trying to be like they're trying to grow mass adoption and be good, but stay in a tight like on the tightrope. They
Tight
don't want
line.
any
Yeah.
problems.
Right.
Makes
They may
sense.
Yeah.
not like my website.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No,
I didn't
really.
like your website whenever
I know.
I bought it.
It was junky.
All right. So, Bruce, I'm going to have to demote you. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
taking the time to. Super smart question.
Thanks, Bruce.
Very good
Thank
knowledge for
you. Thank
everybody.
you, all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Awesome.
welcome. You're
Good
welcome.
questions.
All right. So,
one
let's
more
see.
question. Nothing.
Anthony had his hand up and I think got shy. Anthony, I'm going to allow you to talk because I know you don't want to talk to us. You want to talk to Casey. So, hang on.
Anthony's the kind of guy that if he sees a whiteboard, he's got to go to it.
Anthony, you're muted. So I hope you're here. I'll give you 5 seconds to unmute, and there you go. You only took 1 second.
Hello, GPT fam.
How are you,
Hello.
buddy? Good to see you.
Hi, I'm just being a little greedy. I have no question. I just wanted to
Uh-oh.
personally thank you guys, Crypto Casey in particular. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have the courage to be in this space and have
Nice.
this great opportunity.
Oh,
And
thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
following along with Mr. B and the little two soldiers right next to him,
The two
Edward and
clowns on the
Attila.
side.
Yeah, we all do
The
that.
dynamic
Yes,
duo.
I just
Seems
wanted
like
to take
everywhere I
this
go, they show up.
Right. I just wanted to take this opportunity to personally thank you guys. Thank you so much. You've changed our
That's
lives.
Yeah,
Oh.
you're a sweetheart. Thank you so much for your service. We literally Anthony gave us a testimonial what this trader has meant to him and his family. We just posted it on our YouTube channel. So if you get a chance, go look at it. It's very heartwarming, and to know that that our collective efforts, feeding off of what Mr. Barsano has created, the opportunity that it actually changes somebody's life for the good is the whole reason why we do it.
Although if I
So,
did have a question, it'd be more generalized. I know you've been Crypto Casey, you've been doing this for quite some time now, early 2000s. What have you done, if you had any advice, what have you done to get through all this and get this far in the space?
You mean like the bear market
persistence.
or just the whole kit and
Just
caboodle?
just the whole space. I know that
Oh
this
yeah.
could take a while to explain, but
No, actually,
if you could just
it's
generalize
probably
it.
more simple and straightforward than you think. I want to say thank you so much for letting me know because sometimes I just feel like a nerd making videos that nobody cares about and everybody thinks I'm weird, but it's fine. Like I like it, which comes back to answer the question you just asked me. So I've always been on computers, love tech. I got a degree in finance, and I worked with software companies. I actually bought some stuff with Bitcoin whenever it was at $10 per Bitcoin, and I'd watched it ever since. I saw it when it hit 100. I didn't really have any money to speculate with or even invest, much less until it was about $1,000. That's why I started the YouTube channel. And whenever I started the YouTube channel, I remember exactly where I was and what happened. I opened up Coinbase because sometimes I'd look at it every 6 months to look at the price of Bitcoin out of morbid curiosity. And then I saw something else listed, Ethereum. And I was like, what is this? So then I go down this deep rabbit hole of what Ethereum is. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely insane. This is going, because I didn't like the fact that I had a finance degree. It was all scams and, BS. But I was like, wait, this is might be something very interesting. And then that's why I
Right.
started the YouTube channel because as I was learning, I was just documenting. And then because I couldn't find anything on the internet, I would find Reddit posts, but nobody was talking about it. Nobody knew what it was. So then I tried to compile all of the information I could and then started the channel because there wasn't really any information and helped me learn too.
Mhm.
But just
Were you
me just liking tech, being in finance by, just having my degree. And then it just out of nowhere exploded during COVID. People started getting really interested because they were stuck at home. And I don't know. So for me, I've always just been curious and just it was just from my own volition, really. I didn't
right?
expect to make any money. I didn't really make any money from YouTube or even from crypto. I lost the first two cycles. I didn't make any money. I lost a lot of money, but I was still having fun.
Right. It's funny. It's funny how you explain when you first started your curiosity in the space. Where you
Yeah.
were then is where I am now,
Oh,
and
okay. Well, you
to put
are in a
yourself in
way
my
better
shoes,
place than I
it's
was for sure, because there was not a lot of tools or information out there. I mean,
right.
yeah, now we have some
But I
like,
still have to admit it's so overwhelming. I spent countless hours in front of the screen trying to figure out the space. It is just so much information to
no,
gobble
even
up.
I feel like that now, mostly because everything's changing with the news, the geopolitics. I mean,
Right.
even the tech and AI, it's even faster than it was before. I mean, hey, look, I feel the same way as you, but a little bit
Yeah.
more comfortable than I guess maybe where you're
And
starting
that
from.
and this is where GoBabyTrade comes in. Thank you so much, Mr. Barsano,
Thank
Edward
you.
and Attila. Yes,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Oh,
Anthony.
you're
We really
welcome. Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Hey,
We
listen,
I
appreciate
I
like
hate to say this
what
to a I hate to say this to a serviceman, but we're gonna have to demote you.
Oh,
David's got a question.
ouch.
Now, David's got
so
a
what
comment.
Crypto Casey what
Thanks,
Crypto Casey
Anthony.
said.
Aloha.
I like what Crypto Casey
Oh,
said. He said that she she was learning while she was doing all this. You learn more when you're out there teaching, when you're doing those videos, you're learning more. And that's kind of an advantage we have is that we're talking to so many people and we're sharing so much information, we're learning in the
yeah.
process. Like
All right.
just now today, while during this webinar, I am going to turn on my add to advancers again because I just turned them off. I'm gonna turn them back on
There you
because
go.
I realized the value of it. Like you said, adding to the gap and doing the hopscotch. If I add on a 3% gain, but I don't sell it, I remembered that before and I kind of forgot it. And then I thought, well, I don't really need to add to the advancer, but yes, I do. I should. So yeah, I'm gonna turn that back on.
All right. So I think we got two more. David has his hand up. Made a very nice comment. Thank you thank you for all that, Casey. You got me off the matrix for sure. So let me see if I can find David. David, I turned you on, so you can lower your hand and you can talk if you wish to ask Crypto Casey a question. David, you're muted. There you go.
I've come off mute. Hi, Casey. Thank you so much for everything you've taught me over the last few years. I mean, what a mental market the whole crypto thing is. And I'm just so glad that I found this. Yes, I've got an Uphold account and Tangent Wallet, thanks to you, etc. Wasn't really planning
I
to ask a
appreciate it,
question.
David. Thank you so much. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, you're welcome. Wasn't really planning to ask a question so much as just saying thank you.
Oh,
But yeah, what geniuses you are, Ed. Great. I mean, I've seen so much money coming in from this trader over the last few weeks. A little bit quiet today, but my God, I hit some big numbers about
What are you
3
trading,
days
David?
ago. I'm trading.
You don't have to tell us if you don't
Parcel.
want to.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm trading SPAR. I'm trading Swift. I'm trading Parcel and SD. Those are the
Nice.
4 coins I've got, and they're working great. It's really
Excellent.
good. And
Cool. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
David, thank you so much, because this feedback is why we do it. If we're able to touch one person in a positive way to make their life easier, right? What do I always say? Oxygen is here. Here's money. It's not everything, but it's right up there with oxygen. So if it helps you, if it helps your family, if it helps your legacy, to be able to have something that literally is the ATM of you, the automatic trading machine of you, your testimonial and you sharing comments is what everybody needs to hear. And like I said, when I was trying to coax everybody to ask Casey a question, this is a rarity. She's now telling you how she got started with Anthony's question, and just, what we love about Crypto Casey is that she's real, tells the truth, presents things, has no ulterior motive, has no axe to grind or no angle to take advantage of any of us. We're all here because of 2 people. Ed Barsano, we would have never known about the trader, and Crypto Casey, that has helped so many thousands. And I think, I won't speak for her, but just a little. For Casey to hear these positive comments is also great motivation for what she does.
No, I'll tell you this. If I'm being honest, I've never been afraid or scared to make a video and post it, but I was not looking forward to posting a video about the trader because I knew it was just gonna sound strange and against everything I've ever said, but I'd rather expose people to it and have people make their own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But at least they were aware of it and could decide, I don't know.
Well,
I was definitely afraid to talk about this product, but look, I
Well,
tested it
Casey,
for nine
thank you.
months. I tested it for 9 months before I even really talked to them about it. So
Well, thank you, Casey, for having the courage to
Yeah,
post it.
thanks a lot.
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
Jason, I think you had your hand up. Let me know. David, I got to
Sorry,
demote you.
Edward,
Thank you so much for joining us.
Could I just say one more thing
Yeah.
to Casey before I go off mute?
Of course, we love her too.
Yeah, thank you for the videos that you've done. I mean, some of the stuff, I really encourage people to go back and look at the videos about learning about money and how money works, and some of those things about the presidents, etc., and the Titanic video, etc. It's wow stuff. It really is.
Thank you. No, it's funny. Sometimes my most
wakes you up to where you are.
exactly some of my
Go
favorite
on,
videos I do the most research on, they get the lowest views, and then the videos I don't really like that much, talking about random coins, they get the most views. So, but I'm glad that you actually appreciate the deeper content that I post.
All right, David. Thank you for your
so much.
participation. I'm gonna demote you. Appreciate you. All right. My trader just took another cha-ching. So if you have your volume up and the trader's running, every time it makes money, it sounds like a cash register. Jason, are you still with us? Let me look. I can see you. Yes, Jason L. I'm gonna unmute you if you want to ask the question. I see a comment in the Q&A. Jason, there you go.
All right. First, thank you, Crypto Casey, for opening my eyes to all this. This is I've watched pretty much every video you have. When I found you on YouTube, you were like an answer to a prayer at that time. I was like, what is this all about? And I need somebody to explain it to me in a way that a moron like me can understand. And so I got that. I really appreciated that. And you probably don't hear thank you enough. And so thank you.
No, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna cry. Everybody's gonna make me cry.
and I've been on GoBabyTrade for, I don't know, like 12, 13 months. I probably annoyed Attila with all my emails and I'm the guy that's like writing Python scripts to try to figure out, where everything's going and highlighting all the output and pasting into a text file. But so my question though to you, I watched your last video, is when do you really think Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million? You always have a crazy wild guess. And
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like the 420 at November 17th, so that was wrong. But I did get pretty close to the 100. Like I think it was like 5 days off of the 100.
Yeah.
I think since
good.
institutional investors and big money's here, there's going to be a lot of manipulation. I think a realistic, aggressive guess would be between 2028, 2030. I think
Wow.
definitely by 2040. What's crazy is like I don't really know if we're gonna recognize like daily life in the next 2 to 5 years with just AI. So I'm kind of even more trepidatious about what that looks like because I'm not really sure how civilization will be operating under those whatever conditions will be there at that point.
Yeah, true. Did you ever watch
if we were just staying the same as we are now without AI, I'd say like definitely by 2028, 2030, but I really don't know what's going on. I'm morbidly curious but a little bit terrified.
Yeah.
Well,
that's scary.
in your last video, you stated that traditional finance, that everything seems to have an end. And, I've seen the videos where it talked about people having to give gold to the government and all the history of our nation and how many, I'm 53 and I try to get my kids to understand, it's like there's nothing new under the sun here. Okay. There's cycles for everything. And, just because something's new doesn't mean it's bad. We just have to flesh it out and be patient. But as a Christian, I know that there will be a one world order eventually with money. So I'm like, maybe it'll be Bitcoin. I don't know, but hey, there's no reason why I can't get involved with it. But yeah, so you think 2028, 2030, is that what you said?
Well, I said that is a very aggressive yet still realistic. I think definitely by 2040. That's conservative. You know what's crazy? So like Sweden, there's quite a bit of their population. It's all voluntary, but they have RFID chips already inside of them, and for like key passes or for even accessing their bank account to spend money, transact money, and it's all voluntary right now. But it's gonna start rolling out in Europe before it does here. But playing back to your Christianity and the whole like future of stuff.
Mark of the Beast.
Yeah, this stuff
that's
is
what that
crazy.
is.
Like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
you're right.
If you haven't seen it, go watch the movie with Justin Timberlake called In Time. It will blow your brain.
Seen it.
What's it called?
It's called In Time. Just Google In Time,
yeah.
just IN Time.
Oh yeah.
Justin Timberlake. It will blow your brain. Everything's about trading time for money.
No, but also
right?
look up, okay, the Black Mirror episode where what is it? The lady has a brain, like, I don't know if it was an aneurysm or something, but then it's like, hey, we can put this chip in her and it's going to back up her memory and she'll be fine. And what they do is they put them on this monthly subscription thing, but then they create like a premium version. So then,
Right.
she's not getting as much stuff and then they keep hiking up the price. And in order to live, you're pretty much just paying from all this technology inside of you that's keeping you live, barely alive. Kind of like
Not
Pharma
too
does
far in
now.
the
It's
future.
terrible. Yeah, it's crazy.
Not
Jason,
too far in the future.
personally, I think Bitcoin could very well hit a million by the end of 27. And here's why I think so. Sometime in 26, the Q3 or Q4 of 26, the frenzy that is going to happen when people realize that it's going to be harder and harder for retail to buy Bitcoin is going to cause a spike in price that will not subside. I think that at some point it's going to start getting difficult for retail to buy Bitcoin. And I think that's going to be at the end of 26. So when that happens, I think we're going to be on our way to a million pretty quick.
I'll piggyback on your 2027 with I think QT is going to stop this week, right? And then if the big beautiful bill, and then once we get the new Fed chair in, and once we're printing money, we're going to be like Weimar Germany. I don't see how we won't have hyperinflation by 2027 in United States, especially with everybody kind of moving off of using the dollar, even with stablecoins. They're already transacting in yuan with ruble and, rupees and stuff. And we don't really produce that many things in the United States for ourselves.
Yep.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah. Let me add a comment. So those I've talked about this before. I spent quite a bit of time inside the matrix as a federal agent, and I scaringly enough, I know what's coming. Some I can say, some I can't say. But here's what I can say. Read the history of Zimbabwe and every other fiat system that's existed. They all have a predictable lifespan on purpose of about 100 years. We're at 112 years in the US financial system. It was all based on what Crypto Casey just said. Once you get it's predictable. Inflation is built into the system into the debt-based system for a reason, in order to generate cash flow to pay the debt. Well, GDP, which is all the money, if the government were a business, the US government were a business, the GDP has surpassed the ability to bring in enough money to pay the service on the debt. What does that mean for you and I? Bankruptcy. We're insolvent. So go look at Zimbabwe and you'll see almost point for point interest rates, hyperinflation, GDP. We are on that path. If you believe we're not, go back under your rock. Here's what I believe, not necessarily related to Bitcoin, but if you believe that Bitcoin is the digital gold, or the reason why almost every first world country is in a position of building their digital reserves, crypto reserves, Bitcoin reserves. There's only a limited supply. What is there not a limited supply of? The money that the US prints. It prints $400 million a day in new money out of thin air every day into the economy. What are we walking into? Open your eyes, understand history, because it's due to repeat itself if you don't know it. So let's assume what I'm saying is correct. The rug gets pulled out. The financial system that you know as the fiat system, which by the way is a Latin word that means it is as it is by authority. Let me demystify it. It's made up. It's been made up since 1971. If we go off of that system globally, you can look at the German mark or the Japanese yen or whatever the case may be. We're all in the same debt bucket. If those go away, where are people going to go? To the only digital asset, or the only asset that everybody is now understanding and propagating globally, is the only place where you can have value. My 2 cents.
I think also with the 2008 financial crisis, there was a cycle that should have happened where we should have had a collapse and we would be in recovery right now. But now it's just, it's going, I think it's just compounded, and it's going to be way worse than it should have been.
Yep.
Way worse. Way worse.
Anyway, Jason, thanks so much for contributing today. We really appreciate your comments. I'm sure Crypto Casey does especially.
Yes, thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate all the positive
absolutely.
feedback.
Absolutely. And I want a quick shout out to Ed Barsano. Thank you so much for creating this system. You've actually called me on my cell phone a couple of times. I was shocked. The name came up. I'm like, what? It's like, the funny thing is, it was right after church on a Sunday. I get home and the phone rings and I'm looking at this and I show my wife. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I answer the phone and I think we talked for an hour, and I truly appreciated that. I really did. You don't get that level ever with you three, and I even got an email the other day from someone else and talking about some updates to the system. But I see JSON errors on your site every now and then, and I send them in, and so it's kind of funny. But it looks like it's always moving. Maybe it's always beta. I don't know, but it's always moving to something new, and I appreciate that. But yeah, the first time I saw it, I was like, Crypto Casey, you got to be kidding me. What is this? What are we running on, a Commodore 64 here or something?
No,
That's a little big. I apologize, Ed. You're not laughing. So
No, when I went
It's
on the
easy.
website, I was like, I don't even know if I should buy this. Like, I guess it would be tax deductible if I lost it all.
I'm not a
Yeah, it's
web
all lost.
developer, that's for sure.
Well,
No,
but
it's
money,
terrific.
money beats pretty all day long, except for when you're talking
That's
crypto,
right.
Casey, you get
Hey,
both.
Thanks.
functional. That's what it is.
Folks,
Functionality.
right. Well, thank
Yeah.
you, Jason. We appreciate it.
Thank you
It
all
looks
so
like
much.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Blessings.
Can I
All right.
say,
I think we got Kim.
there's been
Sorry.
talk about the end of the world and all that stuff, I kind of, the years go by, you get older and older and older, right? And you realize that you're not going to be around for the end of the world anyways, right? So, my philosophy is just get an auto trader that just cranks out money forever. And to me, that's really kind of the easiest. I mean, it's kind of a cop out on my part, because I don't have to think about it. It just grinds out money, and I love to hear this stuff. I love to hear you guys say that Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million in a couple of years. I'm like, hey, you know what? It's going to also bring along all these other cryptos,
Yeah,
and
Right.
and they're all going to go up.
that's for
All you
sure.
said is you didn't even say a lot. I mean, crypto at 1 million is only times 10, which is
Yeah,
really
exactly. Like it's only a 10x. I've seen it go from $10 to 100, 1,000, 20,000, 50. I mean, for
yeah.
me, like it's nothing. The 10x is nothing because I've seen it the 65,000%.
Yeah,
So it's
Yeah,
I've
not
never
and
seen
and
surprising.
that.
these other coins
Uh,
are going to do the same thing, and they're going to, 10% or 10x is really not even that much. And I'm like, wow, I could see these coins going up 100x easily. I'm in heaven. I love the discussion. I love it. And I'm just at ease.
this is so cool. Casey, thank you for being interactive. Are you good for one more?
Sure. I do have
Okay.
people waiting on me, but
Yep,
sure. I
yep,
mean,
yep,
let's
yep.
go.
One more. Justin, if you still, I'm going to unmute you, or I'm going to promote you so you can talk, and then we'll let everybody go. Justin, you are muted, but you are live.
Okay, you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you just fine.
Okay, great, great. And thank you very much if I am the last question for Casey, but and really it is just what you all just started the mentioning there as you were talking. And firstly, I would like to say, just because this is maybe the only opportunity I'll ever have, is that I greatly really do appreciate Casey's channel, because when I found her channel, I felt like she's not mainstream, of course, and the way that she speaks about just real money, the way the systems work, the Fed, the IRS, and such is, we all need to see it, the way that things work, the way that they are. And I mean, her channel is great, and I want to tell her I really appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, oh, very much. I believe when this Zoom first started, I think you guys mentioned something about BTC as it may pick up here and then maybe drop again in January. If I heard you guys correctly.
yeah.
That was Attila's
I
comment. Yep.
I
Yeah.
mentioned that. Yes.
Okay. Just as I came in, I think you were touching on that, and your guys' take on is one of the reasons why we should think that crypto is important to understand and to be in um, the danger or the threat to the fiat and the failing of that system. And can we is it real to that, or do we think crypto is really going to be something different? The other's still going to carry along, or I just wanted to ask your opinion on that.
I'll touch on that first, if you don't mind, Edward and Casey. I just, being in this space 5 years full time plus, I will say that this is just the whole blockchain, decentralized finance, crypto space is a major, major, major disruption. It's all about technology, but there's been very disruptive technologies previously. The cell phone disrupted the home phone and the payphone industry. Netflix with streaming video disrupted Blockbuster Video. There's no more stores worldwide. Actually, there's one somewhere. I don't know where, but there's one left. And then
It's a museum.
yeah, and then Uber and Lyft disrupted the taxi industry. But this is the biggest disruption of all, because think about it, Justin. What is it disrupting? It's disrupting the world global financial system. Everything's going to be faster, cheaper, safer, immutable, just more trackable. It's just a whole new system coming in, but that takes time to take place. We are in this digital money revolution where the internet revolution was in about 1997 to 1999. That's how early. So it takes time. But meanwhile, why not have a trader and take advantage of that extreme volatility? So I'll hand it off to
And get in
Casey.
early.
I
And
have
get in early.
okay.
Go
Oh,
go
I
ahead,
have a
Casey.
different kind of perspective on it from, so whenever, I have my finance degree, I was young, I didn't have a lot of money to invest. The stock market doesn't move that much, and even if you're buying a stock, if a stock is $10 per share, then you have to have $10 for that share, or if it's $500 per share, then, I might be not able to afford that. If you're buying assets like real estate, you can't just put in any amount of money. You have to have a lot of money.
All of
What I
it.
like about crypto is like you can buy $5 of Bitcoin, $10 of Bitcoin, $100 of Bitcoin. You don't have to buy all these like prepackaged things, and it's much more liquid than real estate, other types of cash flow generating assets. So from my perspective, I saw this as okay, front running the technological revolution that Attila just mentioned, but also it's more inclusive. You can just buy it without having, in some cases, KYC. If you can get in, get some USDC, USDT, and then use these decentralized technologies.
Per-
That's what I liked about it. You can
Permissionless.
start with $10. You don't have to have, what I just described. That's what I liked
Token,
about
yeah,
crypto.
tokenization and fractionalization.
And
Now,
Yes.
permissionless.
and permissionless. So, Justin, I'm going to tell you from the inside, no, our system will not limp along forever. It will limp along for a little bit more. But I promise you, in your lifetime, don't know how old you are, but in your lifetime, I'm older than you. So in my lifetime, debt-based financial systems will go away altogether. Period. It's already been predetermined. It's already been pre-planned. If I get more specific, then people will be knocking on my door. But understand this marketplace, understand it looking forward. Why is the windshield so big? Because we're so bright about the future versus looking in the rearview mirror. That's why your rearview mirror is so small. Rip it off, learn as much as you can. You have the right source. If we add and help that in financial intelligence in giving you all these different aspects to learn, but right now you've got the answer. Crypto Casey, that's where you learned. That's where you earned. We're in a position where we're putting you in a position for you to earn while you learn. The fact that Mr. Barsano calls people, it's like you don't go buy a computer with Microsoft Windows on it, and all of a sudden Bill Gates calls you and says, "Hey, Jason, I just want to say thanks for you buying my computer." But I mean, look at the level of support you're getting. So yeah, we're jazzed about it now and in the future. We're happy to have you as part of the family.
Yeah, well, glad to see you guys' presentation platform and speak with you. I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I'll do a little bit of maintenance, and then we'll close. So, Justin, I've got to demote you. Bear with me just one second. All right. A lot of people have joined, and I know a lot of people were asking that we create some sort of a community. Somebody commented a couple weeks ago about when's the Discord community going to start. Well, we decided against that. We created a community within the security and confines of financial intelligence. If you want to join the community for free, I just posted the link. That way, your information is in an environment where there's no spammers or scammers. You're in a position where you're joining a community of like-minded people, just like you've experienced here. So you're welcome to join. And then for anybody new that doesn't already know, we repost these on our Financial Intelligence for You YouTube channel. So I'm gonna post that as well. And the last bit of maintenance is I'm going to post. I know a couple people have asked for it again. Is Crypto Casey's discount link. So bear with me just one second, and I'm going to ask for closing comments, and everybody can go on with their life. But You're welcome to join us. If you joined us here through a link or a recommendation, or you love Crypto Casey as much as we do, you're welcome to come back all the time. We do this every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
At 2:00 Eastern.
Yep.
So with that, Casey, closing comments. First of all, you can't talk yet. I want to say thank you so much for your professionalism, your caring about people. I've become, since I've known you, I've become one of your biggest fans. I'm kind of like, if you have a fan club, I'll be the president if you like. But you through this journey, I also want to thank you for your friendship, because we've become not just people that do business in the same realm. I really appreciate you as a person.
Thanks, guys. I'm not good at taking like a lot of good comments. I'm pretty shy, but I appreciate
Well,
it.
that's all right. Be shy, but it's recorded.
I
Okay.
got a question.
Well, now everybody's gonna know. Oh no.
I got a question for Casey. And is there
Sure.
any chance you could have a sister channel and call it the Crypto Kitty Casey Show?
I know. All my cats are like literally just swarming me. I think
I
they're
love
hungry.
that cat. I love that cat.
I have-
Oh
I
my
have-
That's
God.
another
I
one.
have another cat.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
My
I have
God.
3 cats.
So, all right. So,
Actually 4 cats, but
so I'll stop slobbering for a second, please. Closing comments, Casey.
so thankful for all you guys. Happy Thanksgiving for everybody in the US. For everybody not in the US, just be grateful and thankful. I mean, even though hard times are hard, I mean, at least things are interesting and entertaining.
Indeed.
I think we're all gonna be okay.
Oh yeah.
But
We are.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm bullish. I'm bullish.
Well,
Short
thank
term,
you.
it's short-term excitement, long-term, good.
Yeah, thank you for joining us not 1 but 2 weeks in a row. I'm totally geeked out whenever I get to speak with you and hear your knowledge. And I know that, and thank you for taking live questions. We don't normally do that. And I know that well, you've heard everybody appreciates you. So it's good quality feedback, and hopefully it's fuel for you to keep doing the great stuff that you're doing.
Yes, it does help. Thank you.
Cool. Mr. Barsano, how are you feeling, sir?
Well, I'm good, I mean, I'm enlightened, you all know that I'm very narrow-minded. I'm all focused on auto traders and turning your money. And
That's okay.
as Attila would say, I'm going to steal your thunder. Go forth and multiply your money.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen to that.
How
Go
long you been
forth
waiting
and
to say
multiply
that?
your crypto.
Multiply crypto.
I
I
love
stole his clothes.
Yeah.
But no, hey, I love it, and I love it when Crypto Casey comes on here, because that broaden, you actually broaden the scope of the webinar. Because again, I'm very narrow-minded. It's all about grind money, grind money, grind money. Trap the market. That's all I look at. And there's so much more out there that I don't look at.
Well, we're all good if you just
find
keep
it
focusing on that.
fascinating. Yeah, everything you're saying, everything you guys are talking about, in my mind, I'm reverting it back to how that affects the auto trader, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm loving it. Keep going.
Nice.
So thank you, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving, and see y'all in a week, right?
Don't
Yep.
forget. Don't forget.
Thank you, Crypto
The Navy.
Casey. And go Navy.
Go Navy. There you
Go
go.
Navy.
Attila, what say
Crypto
you, sir?
Casey's coming next week too, right?
Yes, she's committed to the next 3 or 4 years every week. So
Yeah, that's fine. What day is it?
Yeah, you're like,
But
yeah,
I really
whatever.
do gotta go. I was supposed to go an hour
Yeah.
ago.
No, go.
Casey,
We
thank
All
love
right,
you and
guys, be
appreciate
safe out
you.
there. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thank you for being
Thursday.
on.
All right, I
Happy
gotta go. See you
Thanksgiving.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.